Everything's true. God's an astronaut. Oz is over the rainbow. And Midian is where the monsters live. Share the power.
We're committed to this shit now.
It looks like he may commit suicide. Suicide is badass.
Shut up, all of you! I know what's happening out there. Out there, outside the ark. But it's out there. We are safe. Nothing can touch us. God has ordained this. This is consecrated. We are safe in this place.
Lance, can't you see the greatness in me? I'm female and male, man and woman. I'm better than you are!
Yeah, but don't you understand something? You're only half of each. I'm a whole man. So if you'll excuse me, I don't have a lot of time here. I gotta save the world.
Welcome back to the Easy Listening channel, where we discuss DEI topics so we can be inclusive and fucking queer, I guess, because that shit's queer.
Yeah. Woo!
You making a face for?
Because that's the gayest thing I think I've ever heard you say.
Quit being a fucking queer and it won't be.
I can't help it, god damn it, I was born this way.
Yeah, there goes Dax and are leaving a like and running the fuck off.
Yeah, little drive-by.
Oh, he's in his little beep beep car.
His itty bitty car with a horn.
Yeah. Me. So, how has everybody's week been? Or weekend? It's just Monday.
We've had, the fucking second I start the camera, I clear my throat constantly. Not before then. Not all damn day before then. Turn on the camera, it's like, there it goes. Anyway. Lilith has been waiting, although I don't know if she's here now. But she's been here.
Hi, Lilith.
Hey.
Hi, Roadkill.
We have Midnight Lady Bub. What the
Bub.
fuck? Yeah. Maybe you should do the talking this time.
I'm not any better than you.
Yes, we have Roadkill.
Hey, Roadkill.
Not a lot of viewers, but I really look for more viewers on Thursday. I mean, Thursdays is more of a hangout stream, more of a fun stream. This one is to cover more content. So, I mean, of course, the views, matter. Of course, the views matter, but I usually look to Thursday to be a bit more energetic.
Well, everybody's getting over the weekend on Monday and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I can understand it.
Yeah.
Well, you trying to say I couldn't be an easy listening channel?
Are you insane? There is nothing about you that's easy listening at all, period, ever.
But isn't my voice soothing?
No.
Yeah, let us soothe you.
Hey, but we have a guest here.
Hi, Roadkill.
Hey.
Yeah, I feel like I have to turn down my brightness.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Doing good?
We're fine.
Right on. Happy Monday, I guess,
But Noise, there is nothing about you in any way, shape, form, or fashion that is easy listening. Nothing.
Be right back.
Nothing.
Sounds
At
like
all.
sounds like Roadkill probably has Discord going in the background.
Yeah. Sorry. What wouldn't fucking mute? Okay, now I have to back out. Okay, we're good. All right, good to go.
Shut up, you fuckers. I'm busy.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, dude, shut the fuck up, man.
Like you would never get those fuckers to shut up. I
Oh,
mean,
it's wild over there right now, and everyone's getting like banned and like crossed out, and everyone's messing with one another. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, everybody's cool there, but you go in there and everybody's just over talking each other, just fucking constantly. Can't get a word in unless you're over talking everybody.
Yeah. That's why I sent that earlier. I don't know if you checked out that video of those flamingos just yelling at each other, going, "Fuck you! No, fuck you!
Oh
No,
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
you!"
That reminds me of like little kids on the playground when they're talking to each other
Yeah.
like that, and they're
Yeah.
just, nobody heard a damn thing any
But
of
where
them.
everybody's going, you're gay. No, you're gay. No, you're
Yeah.
gay.
Exactly. That's what's happening right now. Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid that was going on the playground one day, and I said, "Damn straight, I'm gay." Whatever. And they all shut up.
Right. It takes them aback. Right.
Yeah.
No, you go like, quit that. You're turning me on.
Oh God, that's worse.
I remember one time I was deployed and I knocked on a porta potty, because it looked green, but it was like green red, where it's locked or unlocked. And so I knocked, and my sergeant was like, "Come on in," and I was like, "Oh, you gay bitch." he was messing with me. Who says come on in when you're in the porta potty?
Or maybe he was just really hopeful.
Yeah, that could
No, he was messing with me. Yeah.
You
there's
just can't tell
Lilith.
about people anymore.
Hey, Lilith.
Hi, Lilith. What now? Oh.
It seems to be a little bit of a feud that she's in.
Oh.
Yeah. I have no idea about all this YouTube drama. I have no idea.
Many people have real. Well, Lilith, you've come to the right place, Lilith. Everybody hates us. We'll be hated together. It doesn't matter. We don't care anymore. It's like people have said that to us so damn much over the years, and we're going, good. We'll give you something to do.
Well, yeah. I can. I'm down for bitching and all, but at the same time, I'm not gonna get right in the middle of drama that's going on within our own community. If you see what I'm saying.
No, because I mean, in the end, I mean, if the community's bickering back and forth, and everything like that, then they're not keeping their eyes on the prize. That's like you got a whole platoon full of soldiers. You can't do shit if they're fighting with themselves. I mean, you'll get blown up. So, you can't have it like that. It's not, It's no good.
Yep.
Well, it's a tricky thing, and here's what I mean. If we try to police our own community, a lot of times there's going to be misjudgments.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I see that.
It's going to piss off a lot of people everywhere.
Yeah. But, it's kind of like when you're a kid and you're fighting with your sibling, and your parents let you go on at it for a while, fighting with each other and shit until they have enough of it. And then they come in and ensue corporal punishment.
Yeah.
And you wish to God you never did it in the first place.
Correct. The hand was forced. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You can continue talking. I'm just adjusting my camera.
I know.
Right. Hey,
One
Phoenix.
time,
Phoenix, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
Good. I don't usually talk to you, man. I don't know you very well, but you seem like a pretty cool dude. So nice
Yeah.
to meet you.
that's
I try
because
to
he
be. Yeah.
don't talk.
I keep to myself a lot, so.
Right on. Right on.
He's real shy.
Me too. Me too. I'm breaking out of my comfort zone, so I'm new to this, but I feel you, brother.
Yeah. I
But
might try doing more YouTube stuff because I might be getting only like a 3-day work weeks because of a bunch of like stuff. It's just rumor right now, but it seems like it's gonna happen.
tariffs,
Well,
we
yeah,
can
it
say
comes
it.
down to the tariffs, the supply and demand, and them having to adjust to the changing prices, and because of that, the factories are getting less work.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
work in a furniture factory, and some of the materials come from Canada, so it's causing problems.
Yeah,
No, it's
I stopped
Canada.
buying my games from the UK because they're costing a little bit more. It's not like a big thing like I'm ordering from China, but there's the shipping costs and the prices of the games are getting higher, and I'm like, fuck, man, because I collect Evercade. I don't know if you guys are aware of that brand, but it's like they're trying to like bring back the handheld hardware, kind of like Game Gear, Game Boy sort of thing. They've been around
Yeah.
for a while, but I had to take a back seat, and it sucks because I'm like, dude, these fucking prices. And then even here in America, with the whole, we all know we're all seeing the whole Nintendo Xbox thing where they're raising prices on basically lower hardware, and it's like,
Hmm.
what? Anyway, yeah,
But
sucks.
you know, I wish I had the resources to make a game myself, and I'd just give that shit away. It's like, here, you want to play it? Play it. Everybody play it, and then the
I
word gets out and all that shit. You know.
Yep.
Nowadays, you could make it with free assets.
No, I'm
It wouldn't
talking
be a
about
very
like
good
a
game,
triple
but
A game, like
oh
like
yeah,
a really good one.
But I
yeah,
think
that
I think I think what's happening is there's going to be this is supposed to be like sort of a excuse me, let me take my dip out. This is supposed to be sort of a squeezing of the rag to force people to do what we've all been buying here, but it's going to take time, and in
Yeah,
that meantime everyone's going to pay a higher price. Who gets that money? I don't know. Black budget, the government, who knows? But in the meantime, what we're trying to do is force people to say, hey, if you don't want to pay that price, build this shit here.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that is the idea, and I can even agree with that idea. But for one, we feel the pain in the meantime, and secondly, uh, it's not going to change until the corporations allow it to change, and I don't see them coming off their profit margin or attempting to keep their profit margin up for decades, even.
Yeah, they don't want to spend the money to make that change. Just like oil to natural gas or oil to electric. No one wants to invest in better things or hydrogen or these other things that are actually out there. No one wants to afford that change. They can.
Well,
They're just
on
they're
the
just going
argument
with the status quo.
on the argument about electric, it still requires nuclear power plants to to supply all this demand
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the powering of the vehicles. So
And
that's a
there's a
flawed logic
lot of
on that end of it.
and there's a lot of trash that comes on the back end. A lot of like serious,
Yeah,
environmental trash. Yeah.
the lithium ion batteries, for
Yep.
one, depend on slave labor in other countries.
Yep.
Secondly, are a finite resource that will run out, and people are not recycling. Well, not to mention when it catches on fire, there's no putting it out.
That's what freaks me out is that they're also these cars. So you think of a Tesla. Look at a Tesla sedan. A Tesla sedan hitting a Yukon Denali will do more damage because those batteries weigh twice as much as that Yukon Denali.
Now, there does exist better battery technology, but it's not in mass production. Therefore, the companies that like Tesla cannot get a hold of it as easily. When the battery technology catches up, I can see electric cars, but as it stands right now, no. Still, even then, the environmental factor, it'll still take nuclear power to give that much more power to all the people. They do require less moving parts. They do put out less pollutants.
Yeah.
But right now, it's not that feasible.
There's better options, and we all know it. Everyone in this panel has watched a documentary on what is the right way to go, but the corporations refuse because that means they'll make less profit.
I saw this thing, or Noise might have told me about it. I heard about it anyway, where these people had created this engine that would run off of water.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. And he passed away, and all of his information was confiscated by the government.
So
Yeah,
it's not
there's even been a
unheard of.
rumor. The Mythbusters people that attempted it, and there's been a rumor that they were told to fudge the experiment. That they were forced to. That it is replicatable, but
yeah.
But yes, something the government doesn't want you to catch on to, essentially.
Yeah, it would ruin the economy for a minute. But
yeah,
well,
would it
not
be
to mention,
better
I
for the
believe
people? Yeah.
in the future we're going to have a water crisis.
Yeah, that's upcoming.
Well, I think, well, you can even see it happening now. Out west, like in California and places like that, they have a water shortage. Here,
Right.
we're silly with it. It rains every damn day, and it's so damn bad. You can watch your stuff float in the yard. So
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
the
I'm
problem
on
is
well. I'm on well water, so I'm not worried about it. But you just got to worry about what chemicals you put in your yard. But yeah,
the main bodies of water, the water reservoirs, they keep selling to China, and that comes one of our biggest issues water wise.
yeah. I mean, clean drinking water is not an abundant source. There's water everywhere, but clean drinking water is not an abundant source. So we have to coddle it and make sure that we're not just throwing that shit away. Yeah.
yeah. Well, the water is like if there's a lot of moss and stuff growing along the bank, and mushrooms and things like that, it will actually help purify the runoff from the ground into the water.
Yes.
And if you got moss on the rocks, that's a good sign because the water's clean. If there's nothing around and it's kind of the soil looks kind of weird and shit like that, don't fuck with that water. And especially if the animals won't drink it. If the animals won't drink it, don't fuck with it at all.
That's what I loved about Alaska, man. Like Alaska, a lot of the streams, you can literally drink out of most of them because there's no shit or piss coming down that river or battery acid or anything else. But where I live now, the Northeast, they're apparently there's like a massive output of sewage pumping into the river, and people can't even like canoe in it. They can't fish out of it because it's just shit water. And I'm like, dude, this is turning into like the Thames in London. In England, it's turning into this area. Yeah, it comes from Massachusetts down to Connecticut, and it's all just shit water. And it's like, god damn, dude, you guys are fucking everything up.
Well, I can't remember the name of the river in India, but it's like that. It's a shit river basically, and people are bathing
everything
in
India is a shit river.
Yeah. Do people pee in it? They poop in it. They wash their clothes in it. I mean, because that's their only outlet. Just like when I was in Iraq, I was on the Euphrates. The Euphrates was gross, but the indoctrination was once you got promoted on the Euphrates, you had to jump into it. And I was like, dude, I'm not jumping into that. That's some of the murkiest, darkest brown water I've ever seen in my life.
I might
And
as
it's
well
just
jump into a damn sewage plant or something.
Yeah, you come out
exactly,
with
exactly
24 different types of parasites and hepatitis.
Yeah,
three
and
eye, like the three-eyed fish in The Simpsons. Yeah,
but it's good that the rivers and stuff, the ones that are still kind of clean and everything, they have like lizards in them and stuff like that, and those and frogs and all that kind of stuff. Those amphibians help keep the water clean, and if you don't see none of that, you better stay away from it.
yes, yeah. When I find crawdads or crawfish, I'm like, okay, we're good. And my kids like to call it a river, and I'm like, no, no, Bubba, this is a creek. This is an offshoot, and it's a little bit clean, but but
Yeah.
yeah,
You
we
can
flip over
collect
rocks to find
rainwater.
crawfish. At least it's decent.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can collect rainwater, but it's not such an easy process as you might think. The filtering process would need regular upkeep and filters changed and maintenance. Uh, I mean, think about it. Your water system is outsourced to the city, and you're paying the service for it. Now, if you do your own water, you're doing every bit of that work yourself,
yeah,
and it's a lot more involved than you might think it'd be.
Well, I know in a lot of places you can't do that legally. They won't let you collect rainwater anymore.
what?
Yeah, you can't collect your own rainwater. You have to have your water from the city or a well. You can't collect your rainwater yourself, like in barrels and stuff like that. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I even heard of people going
Wow.
to jail for having little gardens before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you have
Speaking
like,
of water, is that fish tank running?
oh, hang on, I forgot to.
I keep
I'm
hearing it
sorry.
sound like
I'll be right
you're in
back.
a tub of water or something.
Things
Oh,
got
and now it
quiet.
gets real quiet.
Oh no, it's all good. Yeah, no, I thought the conversation took a pause for a minute, but all right. So moving on from that, yeah. Water is going to be a thing, and water and whatever fuel has been decided to be the future,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's electric, gas, oil. Oil is. I respect the hell out of them boys that pump that oil. Like they work hard and they basically keep all of our cars running unless you're rich and have a Tesla. But I don't. I'll always be gas or gas hybrid. Electric is, I don't know, you don't get as much out of it. And also yeah, you got your DC engines where you can go fast. You got a lot of torque, but it's not my thing. Until you come out with a vehicle that is affordable and also there's enough places to quickly fill up your battery, I'm not in it. Like, dude, I can stop by a gas station, spend 5 minutes, fill up my gas tank, and I'm out. These people need to like stop for like 30 minutes and like hang out. And I'm like,
Well,
dude, fuck them.
with a better battery technology, you could charge in like 1 to 5 minutes. But with lithium ion batteries, yeah, it takes at least half an hour. But
Yeah.
the great advantage to gasoline, or as they say in the UK, petrol,
Yes.
is its portability. I mean, it's a liquid and it gets heavy, but for the amount you need, it's more portable than say a battery bank.
Yes. It is.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, around here, I'd like to see somebody try to
Well,
drive around
on the
here
subject of
in an
water,
electric
Oh
car.
man, dude, you guys, I have like 3 Teslas around me, Tesla trucks, and everyone I've seen, okay, for the past 5 months, I've seen 3 middle fingers go up at the Tesla trucks. People are mean as shit about owners of
on,
those things.
on the subject of water, he does have a point here. Well, I mean, there is always ways to extract the water in the air. That's going to become a more common practice as necessity dictates. Yes, I have limited knowledge on it, but from what I do know, they have this big thing, this big metal thing, which pulls in the water from the air. Of course, it takes time to accumulate, but those do exist, although I doubt individuals could afford them for the most part.
Right. And we all know that why that is because it's not being mass produced. It's being shunned, and so you're going to have to find this niche market, and that's going to be astronomical. Yeah.
And what Lilith is saying here is Tesla was a genius. We were talking about Nikola. Last name's
Nikolai,
Nikolai Tesla.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. He was. Let's see. What was his nationality again? Macedonian, I believe. I knew some Macedonians. They were great people. But yes, he was. I would say one of the top geniuses ever. Although his work was largely unverified, but there's probably a reason for that.
When I was in technician school, electronic technician school, my professor was an electrical engineer, and I mentioned Tesla, and he was like, "Dude, that guy was a weirdo. He like dated a crow or something, or a raven,
He married a pigeon, I think it was.
something like
Yeah.
that." And I was like, "Dude, who gives a fuck? The guy was a fucking genius." And he was taken advantage of and fucked over by the goddamn we all know who he is, the GE and all those guys. He was fucked over, man, because he had free energy and they wanted
And
money.
that's true. Edison was a thief and a hack. Absolutely, yeah.
Yep, Edison. There you go.
But yeah, he married a pigeon.
You know what? Exactly. Who cares? If you marry a bird, that yes, that is weird. But dude,
Well,
you could have saved us from a, a whole lifetime of uh, generations of paying for bullshit. Because right now, up
well,
here in the Northeast, we're fighting hardcore against these electric companies because they're like, you know what? We're going to charge you this per watt, but you know where the money comes from? You know where they charge you is the transfer fee, which means nothing. That's an extra
yeah.
fee that they fuck you on. Yeah.
It's like if a tranny came up with a cure for cancer or fountain of youth, I wouldn't be complaining. I'd be like, great.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like who cares? Like, dude, you cracked the code, you made something great for the human population, and then they fucking shut them down.
Well,
Yeah,
what
the Warden Tower would have been we should have like 3 Warden Towers in the US, and that would power the whole hub for free. Everyone for free.
that's what I was going to say is those towers, all it would have took was maybe 2 or 3 of them.
Now,
One on
we
each
know-
end of the country.
We know, or at least what's recorded in history, however vaguely, that he did send a lightning arc that blasted far, far away. The question is how far, let's say this was done and this was feasible, how far could it have been perfected? Because it could have been a situation where we're constantly beamed by open radiation from the electricity. Of course, that would be cancer for everyone. So it would have to be something that would be more so perfected, which I believe it could have, but seeing as how we can have Wi-Fi over light beam. Yes, a beam of light, however thin, can carry data signals over.
Right.
I believe the same could have been true for electricity.
Look at Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. If you look at I've seen these pictures where they show the different spectrums of the electricity crossing through the air. So Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, these things are shooting through our bodies all day, every day. So, I mean, what would be the difference? And yeah, he could use the Warden Tower to focus. Someone could use that to focus an energy beam, based on maybe the mechanics of it. But it was more about just an open air electric fabric where everything could work, electronics without needing to pay for it, and that pissed people off. Yeah. But yeah, they tried to like make it into like some sort of, oh, he's making a weapon. No, he's giving you free electricity, but also, yeah, if you want to focus it, you could hurt someone.
Well, it's to my understanding. I mean, I don't know for sure.
I want to address Lilith's question here. She says, can she be on panel too? But I know you just got done saying you're too wasted to not let you on panel. So there is the concern there.
But it's to my understanding the reason why he got unalived is because the government wanted him to make a weapon, and he didn't want to do it. He wanted to make something for humanity, basically. And then come to find out he was unalived, and there was a lot of mystery behind the why or how.
Don't you hate it how
So-
YouTube has us all talking like toddlers?
Yeah, I know, I can't stand it. But that's what I read in when I was looking up Tesla and all that stuff. And I think if any one of us had the opportunity and the means to create something like that, I think the government would be knocking on our door wanting us to make a weapon for them. That's what I think.
Well, the weapons that we know of is one thing, but there's probably some dark
Elias,
money
you're absolutely
weapons.
right.
It's probably some dark money weapons that's beyond things that we've imagined. They probably have available to them, if they so choose to use them, things beyond our imagination. There's technology out there that's not available to civilians, and not in many cases the army either. It's really
Yes.
hidden away.
It's all shelved. And I'm going to tell you guys one thing. I know how many people we got in the how many people are watching right now? Kind of
9
worried
on
about.
YouTube.
We
Okay.
got 9 on YouTube, 5 on Rumble.
Okay, so not too bad. So the background where I come from, my family's background, black budget is a real thing, and where that stuff goes is it's back shelved. It's put on a shelf and put away because they know they need to they need to grab that shit and put it away before someone else tries to monetize it and fuck the corporations. And it's all
Well,
and as we can
yeah.
sit here, we all sit here and I look at you guys and we're all on the same page. If that happened, we all know that the banks, the companies, everyone else would have to scramble, and that would cause
Also,
a hysteria.
once it's used, other countries are going to be looking hard at it, going, first of all, we got these deals and these treaties, and you have to let us know these certain things. And besides that, they're going to be trying to reverse engineer everything, and it's going to be a scramble at the moment that technology is out there.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
And it's a shame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a lot of that stuff could be used to help a lot of people, but they don't
Yep.
want to do that.
Third world countries, we could give Africa all the power they needed. We could lift them up.
Wait,
Like we
you
could give
mean we could
everyone
turn them
free
white?
electricity. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh. Well, speaking of science kind of stuff, my thing is more biology. And the very interesting thing about mushrooms and mycelium and stuff like that, they're neither plant nor animal, they're both.
We have Valkyria Winter here.
Hi, Valkyria.
Welcome.
And the thing about mushrooms is they will form a symbiotic relationship with their environment, meaning it's a give and take. What the host gives nutrients and things like that. However, in some instances, they've been known to conduct electricity, and when they do that, the species that they're feeding off of and giving nutrients to gets bigger and better. They're more healthy, and it's because the mushroom mycelium can go so far down into the earth that it taps into the electromagnetic field better.
Yes.
And
Like the ley lines. Yeah.
It creates healthier plants and animals because the animals eat the plants and stuff like that. So it's very interesting.
Well, there are a lot of people that say that ley lines are a fringe science thing, and
No, it's fucking fact.
Yeah, I
It's
believe in
fact.
them. I believe in them. you do notice the way that dogs will spin in circles trying to find a way to shit. For that matter, cattle and other livestock will face a certain way. And yeah, I believe it's directly to do with ley lines myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but I do know that there are scientific discoveries that show the geographical magnetation, the magnetizing of the Earth, and that they all do match. And so
Well, it
that's where I'm
could
like,
have to
okay,
do.
this is not French science. This is just new, and fucking current scientists are just scared to go, oh my God, I didn't know that. So everyone's like, no, that's not right. And it's like, no,
It
actually, new science says, yes, there's all these magnetized areas on the Earth that cause weird things to happen. So
it
there you
could
go.
have to do with the mineral deposits deep within the earth, which
That as well.
change the magnetic poles. It could have to do with that.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a place in the United States somewhere or something like that where the magnetic pull is backwards. It's wonky.
Well,
Where
it's about to flip at Elijah. It's about to
Mm.
flip apparently, and that's where we're all gonna. That's where we're kind of in the middle right now. Will we see it in our lifetime? All of us sitting here, probably not. But it's happening right now,
Well,
and
yeah.
I heard it's gonna be fucking awful when it happens.
Well, we see it because Alabama, the area we're in, we're kind of in the middle, not quite in Alabama, not quite in Mississippi. But my point, growing up, been here for decades, and it used to be hot, and then you would have your winter, and it would be frigid cold, and now it's like hot, cold, wet all throughout the summer, rain, and hot and cold in the same fucking day. So.
I feel like it
So
changed
yeah,
every
we're already
5
seeing some
years.
of it.
Yeah, it used to be like every 10 years. Now 5 years. Now every year something's different.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the fact that if you research some of the oldest maps out there, it shows the Middle East covered in snow.
Yeah.
And it has essentially the roles are reversed.
Yeah.
Everywhere that was cold is hot, cold, cold, hot, reversed.
When I was in Iraq in 2007, it hadn't snowed there in 100 years, and an old man was on the news saying, "I don't even know what this is." He was like in his 80s, and he was like, "I don't even know what this stuff is." And I was like, "Dude, how is it snowing in Iraq?" But the Earth is changing, man. It's doing its thing, as any organic thing would do. But yeah, I remember hearing that, and I was like, "Dude, that guy is like a wise elder," and he's like, "What is this?" And I was
Yeah.
like, damn.
Well, I remember reading where the Inuit people of Alaska, they used the poles of Alaska for their landmarks and stuff, certain glaciers and things like that. Well, they're having a hard time finding their way around now because everything's shifted. I mean, it's like they said nothing is where it's supposed to be. Stuff that's been there for thousands of years has shifted.
Yep.
So it makes navigation very difficult for them. Even the birds up there have a hard time getting around because their navigation system's wonky.
Yeah.
Lilith Lilith says she wants Alchemy to listen to her ugly voice.
Well, he's probably seen some of my streams that Lilith has been on, I would imagine.
Yeah. Are you hanging on for dear life, Phoenix?
Yeah.
And,
hang in there, brother. Hang in there.
Yeah, YouTube has gotten beyond ridiculous about censorship. You probably heard about the knee gate. There's somebody showed a picture of a woman with her knees pulled up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Phoenix, show your knees.
Oh God, we're
You
gonna get banned
disgusting
from
motherfucker.
YouTube. Oh my God.
Yeah, I heard about that. At Nobody, you know Nobody. he had this whole knee stream where he just had a picture of knees the whole time during his stream just to fuck with YouTube. Because
Yo, here's the
YouTube, the
thing.
bots saw it as boobs and they were like,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of here. And it was like, dude,
Yeah.
it's not boobs, it's knees.
AI called it as boobs, of course. Like I can see the mistake, but then supposedly a person reviewed it and went, "Nope, our decision's final."
And we wonder why we've been shadow banned, Noise.
There you go.
I
I find this one of the realest, coolest streams, personally.
No, I mean all the shit we talk about, all the dumb bullshit that goes on in this stream.
Yeah, I don't really shy away from any subject. And I've had a lot of other YouTubers be like, "Oh, this kind of stuff you cover," and it's like, I don't see anything wrong with it, but I guess people are just more sensitive to it, or maybe they're thinking that to be successful they have to streamline and avoid controversial things. Where I don't like being put in a box, be like, you cannot leave these lines. Well, fuck you.
Right.
Well, I kind of think of this stream, our stream, as people, how they used to sit around the table and bullshit each other, sit on the couch and drink beer and bullshit with each other. That's kind of what I take this stream like. They talk about stuff, but they, for the most part, they sit around and bullshit and talk about the topics of whatever's going on in the neighborhood and shit like that.
Yes. Yep. That's why I'm here. That's why I like being here.
Because I'm telling you, Noise, if you ever get tempted to put that damn screaming cowboy on here, I'm leaving and I'm never coming back.
Well, that clips actually is from like the early 2000s, around then. It only caught on to YouTube popularity recently.
I hate it. I just hate it. At first, I didn't mind it too much. But after you hear it for about 1,000 times, it really starts to wear thin on your nerve, It's like, good God.
Yeah, these clips. Okay, I worry that people are going to get sick of my clips. I mean, I only stream twice a week, on most weeks. But yeah, these clips, you try to keep up these YouTubers, right? Try to support them, but these same fucking clips on every show, played 1,000 times on every show, is like fucking maddening.
Money, 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 cash. Money, cash. Oh God.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yep. But I think that's like their coined thing. That's why I don't get mad. But yeah, usually when it comes on, I'll turn the volume down. But
yeah, mute it or something.
It's their thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The mass majority of my clips I make myself, but I worry people will get tired of them. I add a new one occasionally. I added a couple real short ones. Today. Okay. Check this out. Just real short, funny clips, right?
Here's a little tip from Elmo. It's time for you to fix your fucking attitude, okay? Okay? Let's do that. Yay!
All right. You ready for the second one?
I don't know.
Hey. Elmo wants to tell you something. Quit being a bitch.
Nice.
Oh, I gotta remember that one about the attitude, though. That's what I need to tell Ladybug when she gets attitude with me. It's like, it's time for you to fix your attitude, okay?
People started donating, which of course is welcome. Obviously is welcome. I mean, that's part of the game here, right? Even though I feel fucked up asking people to like hit that like button and donate. I feel like a fucking douche saying that shit. But it's part of the thing you do if you're doing videos, right? But whatever the case, people started donating, and I was like, I got no clips to play for them other than insulting shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, but at least you're not going, pick me, Choose me. Oh my God. I was like,
Yeah, I got a clip to do that, so I don't have to.
Yeah.
No one reads the dirty. What is she talking about? Lilith said, "No one reads that dirty book." What?
I have
don't
no idea.
Lilith,
No one
honey,
knows what love is.
hon, you gotta clarify because nobody understands what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
Me like Lego blocks. What does that mean?
What are you doing, Phoenix?
What do you mean?
Oh shit!
What do you think I mean?
There
I'm
it
not
is.
doing anything.
Oh, come on now. Yeah, you need to flesh his head out a little bit because the back of it's kind of flat.
Yeah. He just doesn't have any brains is all. It's fine.
Okay.
What the fuck? Why people's not know shit about fucks? Because we're human beings and human beings are fucked.
Yeah.
There's nothing quite so funny as a wholesome character voice saying some spicy shit. Yeah, it is always a winning formula in general.
Yeah.
Like
okay,
Goofy.
okay, Phoenix, say some spicy shit.
Okay.
You're just making it weird now.
Oh dear
Spicy
God,
peppers.
he's made it weird. Oh, is this going to be puppet therapy?
Is it?
I don't know. I'm asking you. You're the one with the damn puppet on your arm.
Maybe.
Well, at least entertain us. Jesus. Oh, good God.
Is that better?
No.
Doing a little dance for you?
Okay, here you go.
Drop 'em out, let me see them titties. Gonna take a long look at those twig old bitties. Areolas looking nice, nipples looking real pretty. Come on, let me get her at your boobs. Drop 'em out, let me see them knockers. Gonna take a long look at those big ham hockers. Just squeeze them together while I play with my cocker. Come on, let me get her at your boobs.
That was a decent eye cleanse. At least now we have something to remember when Phoenix has got his hand up his puppet's butt.
Yeah, you know he likes it.
What?
You know the puppet likes it.
Well, I'm not talking about the
No,
puppet. Well,
you know what's
talking.
really going on? You know what's really going on? The puppet's really going, please take your hand out. This hurts so much.
Oh, God, that's just wrong.
Use lube. Use lube.
Oh, God, help me. Now I'm going to be thinking, oh, my God, Noise, this has ever been your damn fault. Because now every time I see that thing, I'm going to be thinking about that voice saying those words and seeing it on the screen. This is your fault. You know what? You're a demented fuck. You are a demented
I'm not the
fuck.
one with my hand up something's ass.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. You need a green screen, Phoenix. That way you can put your puppet on screen and you can hide and not have to. You see what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Hey, Roadkill, you still with us?
Oh yeah, I'm right here. I'm trying to.
He's trying to. He might
I'm
be
working on
afraid
something. I'm working on something.
He
It's
might be
giving me-
afraid to say anything because of the puppet business.
No, this thing is giving me annoyance. I'm still here, bro.
A little to the. Oh no. The puppet says a little to the left. Oh my God. This ain't Thursday, everybody.
Hey, it's Thursday somewhere.
There you go.
That is true. It's Thursday somewhere.
Yeah. To my knowledge, there's been no drinking here yet. On Thursdays there usually is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Oh, pug dance. Oh, Lilith, small and feisty, is doing just fine. She keeps beating up her sisters and brother. Yeah, she beat him. She beats him up. But her brother got tired of it, and he sat on her. She couldn't move, so she quit beating him up as much. But yes, the puppies are doing just fine. Oh, after this week, it'll be 2 more days. They'll have to stay in quarantine, but then they'll be free to run all over the house.
2 more days? I thought it was like the 20th. Or...
Yeah, it's this week and then 2 more days.
Oh, okay.
But just look.
Yeah. On that note, what she's referring to is we sell puppies. We breed. Rather, we have the dogs breed, right? We don't, But anyway, we breed and sell puppies. But after some buyers came and got them, suddenly, never been here before, but there was parvo, and it almost killed them, but they lived. But the problem is the germ is active, and we have to quarantine the ground. They can't, their yard they have no more. We have to make a new yard for them, plus a vet bill of like $800. Altogether, fees are $2,000.
Yeah.
Everything we're having to do for it. So when we do ask for money here, it's for a good cause.
Yeah, we gotta pay the vet.
My money is spent. It's gone for a long time to come. If I didn't have credit, this wouldn't be possible. If I didn't have credit, this wouldn't be possible. But all the same, the money's fucking gone.
Yeah.
It's not for, and this was for the animals.
Yeah.
I wouldn't spend that kind of money on myself. And you two know this. You two know me. I don't spend money on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, parvo is it's like fucking nuclear wasteland for dogs.
Mm-hmm.
It kills them all for years to come.
But the interesting thing about it is those puppies, they had parvo, but they acted like they weren't sick at all.
Three of them tested positive, but they got over it with some IV fluids and some antibiotics. Whatever the case, it's costing us out the fucking ass. So yeah, so when I say, go to Rumble and do a super chat and buy memberships, we could use every fucking penny we can get.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was so worried about them. I was bawling and everything else because, I just, it's parvo. It can stay in the ground for 10 years if you can't sterilize the ground properly and stuff like that, and it can stay in your house for a month, and that's with cleaning and stuff. So I was very, very worried, because I thought, oh my God, we got to try something. And the vet, he said it's the damnedest thing he's ever seen too, because most of the time puppies that have that disease, they die. There's nothing that they can do for them, because they're dead within 3 days. So it was just a miracle that they made it, a miracle. So that's why I was giving you a little bit of an update, Lilith, because I know that you had been real worried about them. And I tell them there's love from Austria too, Lilith. I know they don't understand it, but I tell them anyway. They're small and feisty.
All right, well, I tried. God damn it.
Oh, Lord. They're having fun with your puppet, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're making it say all kind of stuff over here. Alchemy. And noise.
I wouldn't mind to hear what he's saying, making it say.
You, Phoenix, you need to make a green one.
You should mind.
Yeah, you should. You should. Yeah, you should. You should mind. You should make him a girlfriend.
Wait, we don't need humping puppets.
Nope.
When I
we
say
don't.
make him
Nope.
hump, I'm just saying make him a girlfriend. He's lonely. He's the only puppet there.
A girlfriend without humping.
No, I didn't say make him hump. I just said make him a girlfriend, so he's got another puppet in the house.
What do you think they're gonna do?
They're gonna make more puppets,
Not if he don't make them.
and there's gonna
They
be
come
puppets
back-
everywhere.
You're gonna come back from work one day and just hearing it's like boom, boom, boom. And then we're gonna open the door and there they
Now
are.
I'm just seeing a puppet give birth.
What's his name? What's his name is rolling in his grave. Who created Sesame Street? What's his name?
Jim Henson?
Yeah, Jim Henson. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
Sure we can.
Yeah, alchemy, we're all thinking it now. Every one of us. gonna find some puppets riding the treadmill and cooking food and all that stuff. Although I will say I did like the Gremlins.
Oh, there was a comedy movie with a adult themed puppets in it.
I'm trying to remember the name of
Yeah,
it.
I don't remember what it was called, but I do remember that there was one.
Yeah, it was a little funny.
Oh, I think. Oh God, it had them fucking in it, didn't it?
At one point, I think so.
Yeah, and I cannot remember the name
Well,
of it.
I don't mean that one that by the South Park makers, you know, the America Fuck Yeah. Well, I'm not referring to that one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That one's Team America. This is a different one, a newer one.
Oh, okay. Yes, Lilith, I listened to the song. I really liked it. I sent you a message on Discord about it. So, what is the first topic noise?
That I believe that was the name of it. Happy Times Murder. I
Oh,
believe
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got two people that got it.
Feed the pugs.
No, Lilith, no.
Feed the pugs.
Not after. I can't feed them after midnight, Lilith.
It's not after midnight. Not
I
here.
know that, but if I feed them now, they'll want more at midnight, and I
I'm telling you,
can't
it must
feed
be-
them after midnight.
It must be the southern weather because I'm feeling hot and cold at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
me
too.
I'm just feeling all kinds of uneasy here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my God, we could go out in the yard and it'd be hailing, and then a tornado come through and a flood all at the same damn time. So, yeah.
Okay, it's about time to cover some topics. This one
Okay.
is this one's probably a little bit old news. Probably everyone already heard about this, but I haven't covered it, so here the fuck we go. Nintendo reserves the right to brick your consoles following unauthorized use in bid to prevent privacy. So if they think you've tampered with anything, whether it be ripping a game, maybe or trying to get the security information from your console to make a key, the crypto information, whatever the case, they can send data to brick your console. Now, it doesn't end there. It turns out they also record some of your what you're doing on that console, which by logic, that would mean they're always recording you because they claim they'll keep the last few seconds. So, an update. a recent update, Nintendo has confirmed that it will only review video and audio recording as part of its user report system. So, yeah, that's, as I was saying, they record your audio and video in an effort for anti-piracy. All recording is otherwise privately stored on device, and no recording is sent to Nintendo until a report is submitted. Nintendo said in a statement to Game File. Yeah, just like Amazon says that, Google says that, Facebook says that, but they all get caught spying on you and recording everything and going through it and keeping it and selling it to people, even to companies. Yeah, we've heard this story before. Now, it's bad enough that they will brick your console if they think you are doing something they dislike, but they are also recording you. This is on the Switch 2s that we know of.
Didn't Ubisoft rather, didn't they get fined for collecting data on people?
Oh, yeah, but this is even worse. I mean, seeing as how on the Switch 2, you're able to have audio and video conversations and chats with people, whereas on the Switch before that, you could not. Licensed only for personal and non-commercial use, and that any unauthorized use of digital products may result in the digital product becoming unusable. You acknowledge that if you fail to comply with the foregoing restrictions, Nintendo may render the Nintendo account services and or applicable Nintendo device permanently unusable in whole or in part. So that's what they mean by brick. It means your console might as well be a brick because it's not good for anything else. You are not allowed to lease, rent, sublicense, publish, copy, modify, adapt, translate, reverse engineer, decompile, or disassemble or any portion of the Nintendo account services without Nintendo's written consent or unless otherwise expressly permitted by applicable law. This is intended for anyone who encounters language or behavior that violate applicable law, and with the company able to review the last 3 minutes of recorded footage. This is to ensure a safe and family-friendly online environment. So they're going to be monitoring you for your language. And as a result, if they don't agree, they can brick your console and cancel your account. The update comes ahead of the game chat feature on Switch 2, where players can essentially video call each other during gameplay. It followed a string of moves against piracy, including the shutdown of Switch emulator Yuzu and a lawsuit against the streamer who regularly played pirated copies of Nintendo games ahead of release. Okay.
Okay, then.
Thoughts?
Well, that's insane. Well, that lets me out because I'll get pissed off at a game or something and start shit talking. I do. I can't help it. It's like, that takes the fun out of it.
On YouTube, you can't say certain words without them having a fit. Now imagine this, Nintendo and their idea of family friendly. Almost anything will get you flagged, and they can legally brick your console and block your, ban your account.
Yeah, this is not new. This is something that I learned recently, that this has been in since like Wii U, and they want to make sure that no one's pirating and emulating on their consoles, which is annoying, but we all agree to it. Now I think it's called out because they're coming out with a better console and there's better vetting of what these companies are doing. So now it's like this big thing, but it's always been there. It's been in the agreement of, hey, if we find out that you're doing something weird to our console, we can brick it. We can tell you no more online support. But like 8-Bit Eric said, if you're just a game player, you have nothing to worry about. If you're a modder, take it easy because they'll brick you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they've always, all these companies always have such agreements, but now it's more enforceable, seeing as how more and more things are requiring online connectivity, and they're including microphones and cameras. Plus, the hardware is getting beefier, so they're more able to record you
Yeah, I
every
hate
inch of the
that
way.
shit.
They're keeping all of your data,
That shit's
and
creepy.
now, since it's all online, they can just not only brick your console but ban your account. And can you imagine someone then going, "Well, that's okay. I'll just get another Nintendo." Not me. I'd be so done with Nintendo, and I would dedicate, if I were to ever touch anything Nintendo again, it would be emulated and pirated. If it
Oh
were
yeah.
me.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, for people that like to mod their game and stuff, that's half the fun of it.
Right.
I mean, they're not really doing it to be malicious or anything. They're doing it to have a more enjoyable game
They're
experience.
creative, right?
Yeah, it will be modders who might catch the most of it, and anyone who's actually trying to decompile and decrypt things. But there will be a lot of false positives. A lot of people will get hit by this regardless, and whatever way you slice it, it is an ugly thing that I honestly think people should fight against. At least swear off Nintendo now. Whether that'll actually happen,
but
probably
noise.
not.
So Sony did this in the past. Xbox has done it. Nintendo is doing it. They're trying to protect, overly protect their license, and it's turning people off because it seems like an over forceful police force where they're like, buy this, but then there's like someone standing there watching you like, I fucking dare you to do something wrong, and
Well,
it's very ominous. It sucks.
there is a difference between Nintendo and Microsoft and Sony. Nintendo, the way they went after people who emulated and hosted the ROMs, the way they went after them above and beyond all, they went after them viciously. Yeah, I could see them abusing their power with this. Besides that, if they're coming down on all platforms against people like this, then maybe either they should move to PC, and if PC becomes that way, we should boycott gaming studios and gaming companies. And I mean, after all, we have a large backlog of games. And secondly, there needs to be a video game industry crash for it to be rebuilt with them learning from their mistakes.
Yes, exactly. That's why I love Nintendo, but that's why I always, when my friends are like, dude, what should I do? I'm like, Steam Deck. Don't fuck around. Just buy a Steam Deck. You'll be clear. You're good. I mean, yeah, you are restricted to certain games. You can't play Call of Duty on it, but at the same time, don't fall into these new things because they're getting more strict, and I don't want to support the strict.
Well, I mean, the whole idea behind gaming to begin with is it exercises your imagination and your ability to escape from reality for a while. Well, if your thing is, if you're a creative person, you're going to want to know, you're going to figure out how to mod that shit to make it better. And if you can't do that, then what's the fucking point of having it?
Right. It's my device. I paid this much for it. Fuck off. Yeah. I paid you a lot. I paid you a lot of money for this device. Can I not enjoy it?
You can still play games before the internet. You could play any number of games from Atari to PlayStation 1 or whatever the case may be without issue. But now that internet connectivity and Big Brother style watching is happening, we will see more and more games drop off because they will drop support, the servers, they'll drop the servers for it. Plus, you have to worry about any possible violations that they deem that you have violated something. It's just become a minefield.
That's the thing about
now.
That's the thing about the cameras is they're not focusing on on what you're saying. You know, if you say trigger words, yeah, they'll focus on that. But they're watching your pupils dilate. They're watching what makes you happy, and they're learning. It's all this AI learning about what kind of sets you off, what kind of gets you going, and it's fucking sick. It's weird.
Yeah, it's an incredible violation of privacy
Yes, yes,
and more.
yes, yes, yes.
But this
So
is ridiculous.
there has been people asking lately, has Nintendo become the evil company? And I would say yes.
Yeah, because if they're doing stuff like this, then there's no telling what they're gonna do next.
Right, and they do have a very good grasp on technology.
Well, it's gonna be difficult because all the little kids and a lot of little kids like Xbox and PlayStation and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of them that prefer Nintendo because they market toward little
It's
kids.
it's
my kids
brand
love my
recognition
Switch, and I have to stick with it.
brand loyalty. Yeah,
Yes.
brand recognition and brand loyalty. They will keep coming back to it, and they're not, especially the younger kids are not going to be aware of all this that's going on, but the parents should be.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
exactly.
Nintendo, they market toward little kids because they have the bright colors and they have the cartoonish characters and stuff like that in most of their games.
Yep.
So little kids eat that shit up, because it's fast and it's bright and it's colorful.
That's what
and,
I'm dealing with right now. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
And the thing is I think a way to combat that is have a bunch of old consoles, and if you can get the older games for them, like the Nintendo 64 and consoles
I
like
get
that,
where you're coming from, but
I have a Sega Master System, and my kids are like, "What? What do I do?" And I was like, "Put the cartridge in the slot." And they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Dude, just put it in the slot."
but the younger children, they're being advertised to. They're gonna have a fit for these newer products, and they're not gonna care about being spied on. For that matter, they're gonna grow up expecting to be spied on.
Yeah, they're not gonna know the difference.
Right. Yeah, you got to know, because they're all it's all for money. It's all because they want to know what you like, and they're going to sell you to someone else, and then yep.
Well, it's bad that the country worries about Chinese spying so much, but when things like this come in, they openly embrace it. I just find that mind-boggling.
That's why I'm not on TikTok. If I'm gonna sell my information somewhere, I'd rather it be within the United States, but because I know they're doing it, but I don't bank on other channels. Like I'm worried that what is the Chinese? Yeah, dude, what do they know about me? I like bread, I like hamburgers, but what are they doing with that information? So I don't know.
What they're doing is they're feeding it into a LLM, a large language, essentially AI, and AI is trying to learn you thoroughly, not just you, but society as a whole, and the way it ebbs and flows, so they can predict the market, among other things.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they even predict elections and stuff like that. So
See?
with scary accuracy.
Yeah.
It's just scary how accurate it is.
That shit is way smarter than anything. Quantum computing is a thing, and it can figure out everything we've ever done with everything we've ever known in a second.
Well, quantum computing, it is a thing. It's a real thing, but it's kind of a misnomer. Quantum, you think of quantum science, quantum physics,
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually follow that line. Quantum can also be used as a word of measurement or preciseness. It's not quantum in the sense of some people look at it as looking at smaller and smaller. There's a few different ways of looking at quantum and as far as science goes, but quantum computers is not exactly that. It's a little bit of a misnomer, but it all the same. It's ultra powerful computers set to learning humans and humanity.
Yeah.
Unless
Putting all of our data together to create this is what's going to happen. And that's what scares me. I'm like, dude, this shit's getting way too out of control. Am I like freaking out and buying like MREs and like hiding underground? No. But I'm like, dude, something's coming. Like the people are investing into this more powerful computer emulation. And it's like, oh, fuck, here we go.
Well,
Here
I'll
comes
say this.
Skynet.
If I could afford it, I would be a prepper, like, a doomsday prepper. If I had the money, if I had the resources to do so, I would be one. I mean, not to say I would live underground, but I'd be ready.
Yep. Dude, and that just hit me recently in the past year. Before that, I was like, dude, look at these fucking preppers. Like, this is crazy. Over the past year, I've been like, oh, fuck. I'm behind the curve.
Well,
and you know what? And if anything, why not just go out in a blast of light? Fuck it. But also,
right.
you also have this like survival instinct of, why not try to live and rebuild? I don't know.
But yes, Alchemy is correct. Corporations are doing the best to normalize their spying info farming through convenience. And we're letting it happen, and he's absolutely correct about that.
Yeah.
Well, unless you got a weirdo like Noise, where AI cannot figure out what the fuck they like at all because it constantly changes.
The algorithms online, they're confused as fuck about me. I've always been
I love dancing.
I've always
around.
been a nonconformist. I've always been a little bit of weirdo. I don't stick to trends. I don't lean too much this way or that way. And the fucking algorithms are just, I give them a headache.
Same. Yeah, mine are weird. Like I'll get like jewelry, like like sales, and I'm like, nope, not me. And then I'll get like gaming, but then I'll get like something like weird, like way off, and I'm like, haha, got you, bitch.
MREs is not a bad idea to have a stockpile of them. Absolutely not. But
I got a bunch of them, man. Yeah.
My mind is always on sustainability. Of course, if you are, say, in an underground bunker, that's going to be extremely limited. MREs is the way to go. But otherwise, my mind's always on sustainability. What is sustainable? That's enough that will get you through whatever you need.
Well, the thing is a lot of the old ways that people did, like people that lived back up in the mountains and stuff, all that's dying out. There's not a lot of people that know how to do that shit no more.
Right. No.
There's not a lot of people that know how to make candles and soap and canned food and all that stuff.
I actually know that shit. I feel you. I feel you, sis. Yeah, that sucks, man. Like people just forgot that stuff.
To further what I mean about sustainability is something that MREs will run out. But if you have a lake to fish from, providing it nothing's poisoning the water or the fish, that's sustainability. So that's what I mean.
Yeah, I know how to catch them trout. I'm pretty good at it, but that's all I got though. I'm not a hunter. I can fish and I can lay lines, but I can't. I don't do like deer hunting or anything like that.
Oh, don't eat the deer meat.
I don't do that. Yeah, I'll eat the fish.
Oh yeah. Oftentimes I talk about AI and people they'll go, oh, I love my art AI, I love my video AI. Sure, those can pose a potential threat eventually too, but that's not the AI I'm speaking of. I'm speaking of the high corporate and over corporate AI that's learning society and the ebbs and flows of society, and not just society, but it's trying to learn psychology. It's trying to predict everything, and those tools can be extremely dangerous.
It's fucking scary, man. It's very scary. And you know, it started with I knew this like punk ass guy that I used to work with that didn't really. He worked in a different area and didn't have a lot to do, whereas my office was constantly working. But he would come out with these stupid AI images, and I'm like, dude, you just spent 2 hours making an AI image. Like, yeah, it's pretty funny, but you know what you're doing is inputting. You're feeding the machine. Stay away from the machine. All right.
Well, one thing you got to consider, if you like making AI music and AI art, good for you. But there's one thing you got to consider. Typically, it's being generated on a server somewhere, and those servers are using a mass amount of water to stay cool.
Yes. Yep.
But you know, I think there needs to be a renaissance of the old ways of getting by, because we're gonna need it. All that stuff that the younger people make fun of the older people for knowing, and I'll never need that.
Oh, they're a bunch of
They
fucking
will need it.
assholes, Allie.
Mhm.
They're a
They
bunch
will
of
need
fucking
it.
punks.
Well, yeah. One day, I started to open up an air conditioner to try to fix it, and I had this younger person with me. He wasn't real young, but he was younger generation than me. And he's like, "Oh, I'll help you do that." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess." So then he goes, "This is the most redneck thing I've ever done." I'm going, "What the fuck is redneck about fixing your appliances? What? You tell me, what the fuck's redneck about that?"
I don't understand his mentality, because by the time you buy a new one, you could have fixed the old one if there wasn't too much wrong with it.
If you can fix it, then why the fuck not?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's how the younger generations think. You know, they're like, "Oh, that's redneck, that's ghetto," and it's like, "Fuck you." It just means you're a lazy dumbass. That's all that means.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
I remember one time my dad, he disappeared out into his barn for 3 days.
Oh shit.
Nobody seen him for 3 days in his barn. And you had to understand something about my dad. When he went into his barn, you didn't fuck with him. You just didn't do it. Well, what he was doing was he was creating a fishing lure that would intake water and propel itself, because he got tired of having to go out and buy lures. So he went in his barn and he made one. And people were trying to buy that, and he said no, he wasn't going to sell them. He made a bunch of them, and he caught all kind of fish with that thing, and it kept away the turtles off of his trout lines too, because every time the water would flow into the front of it, it would propel it like a little boat, and it would chase away the turtles off of his trout lines. And that's the whole reason he created it in the first place, because he got tired of running trout lines and the turtles eating the fish off of them.
Yes.
So he created it to keep the turtles away.
Yeah, my family's from the Shenandoah Valley, up in Virginia. So those trout lines are very important. Good on them.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And it's a bitch when them turtles get out there too, because the snapping turtle will take your fingers off.
I just want to look after my chat, and just want to say to Lilith that it's not going to be good if you overdrink. It's not going to be good.
No,
I know that your emotions are up, and that tends to happen, but over drinking, that can't end well.
Lilith, it'll be okay. Whatever's going on, it will be okay. Just don't overdrink and give yourself alcohol poisoning.
And for that matter, don't let yourself get too angry, too upset that doesn't think how is this going to end? Where's this go from here? It doesn't lead to good places.
Just breathe. There you go.
Because when you get too mad, you get stupid.
Yep.
And you do stuff you wished you hadn't have done.
Yeah, and when your emotions get so high, you can get physically ill, sick feeling from it.
So you take care of yourself. Everything's going to be okay. I don't know what's going on, but it'll be all right. We want to see you here Thursday. But I know, didn't you say, Noise, that when it was a snowstorm when you was a kid and you hooked up like a car battery to run a game?
No, it was my father would do it every time, we'd have a long power outage, whether it be tornadoes or we're snowed in, lose power. He'd hook up like the scanner to in a radio to a car battery.
Okay. Well, I knew it was something
which is not something that you would expect this generation to know anything about. Yeah, they just wouldn't. I guess that'd just be shit out of luck.
Yeah.
Oh man, it blew my my landlord away when I jumped her battery. She was like, "You know how to do that?" And I was like, "You don't?" I was like, "Okay." Well,
even I know
go.
how to do that. I mean, I thought everybody
I can jump
knew
your
how
car. Yeah.
I thought everybody knew how to do that.
Now there are some things you hook up to a car battery that will blow it, which
absolutely.
Which then you'll need either a fuse or a regulator, something to change the type of voltage, wattage, whatever the case.
Yeah.
You'll need something like that with some things.
Yeah.
It's usually a dead battery or a bad alternator, and that's where I'm pretty good at those. Yeah.
Well, that's like my brother. One time, the lights went off or something. I don't remember now what happened, and he got the bright idea to hook up 3 car batteries to the meter.
Oh boy!
So he sticks a fork in the meter.
Oh no!
And he wires it to the car batteries.
Wait, what meter exactly?
The house meter.
Here's the thing: you can do that, but it's dangerous, and a fork will not hold up to that amount of electricity.
Exactly.
It caught on fire.
Yeah.
And my dad had to go out there and put it out. He goes, "Boy, what are you doing? You're gonna burn the house down." He said, "Well, I was trying to be helpful." He said, "Well, you almost had it, but not quite. You got to put an alternator
once you learn that red and black and grounding, you're like, I can do anything." And it's like, well, take it easy. Take it easy.
But he was a kid. He didn't know any better. He was trying to help, And so my dad, it burnt the meter off of the house. So he had to go to his brother and get a new one. He didn't get it from the power company. He was supposed to, but he didn't. He goes, "I'm not paying those assholes for a damn power meter. We'll all get put in jail for trying to rig power in the first place."
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a million of those stories. I know everybody's got them, but yeah. Those are funny.
I watched a buddy. We were in Iraq, and he was like, dude, he was a combat engineer, so he's used to like setting up explosive on a bridge, but he also fixed like air conditioners and stuff like that. And he was like, no, I can set electricity up in this bitch. I got it. Anyway, we're standing around in this empty, wide open, like wooden box, basically. It's called a hooch. And he was like, dude, I'm going to wire us up so we got some, some plugins. And he did something wrong, and he flew 5 feet off the wall. I was like, what the fuck, dude? And he just stood up and like looked at all of us, and he was like, I'm good. I was like, dude, holy shit. I've never seen anyone been shocked by electricity like that.
Well, a running joke used to be you know, a lot of people had these electric fences for the cattle and stuff.
Oh shit!
A
I've
running
touched
joke
one.
was,
I've
yeah.
touched one. Yeah, that sucks.
Well, a running joke was to get somebody drunk so they'd pee on it.
Oh shit!
Yep. My dad did that to a bunch of people.
Never did that. I saw the sign and I was like bullshit, and I touched it and I was like, okay, that's not bullshit.
It's not bullshit.
Oh man! Oh my god!
Oh.
Yeah, do not pee on those. Yep.
Well, you know, what's worse is this younger generation don't know a lot about this kind of thing. The thing about it is they have the internet, they have the resources to look it up, whereas us in the past just had to fuck around with things that we got shocked and blown up and everything else. They have the resources to go, this is how it's done, and they're still not doing it.
Nope. Well, my grandfather, he worked in a coal mine, and he was the demolitions person.
Oh my god, dude! I have a demolition background, and I'm still trying to get into a company that does that for mining. I'm still, yeah, I'm good with that stuff. So go ahead. Sorry.
And no, it's fine. And I was little, and I went out into his shed because he used to run moonshine too. But yeah, he was a character. So I find this box, and we were looking for fireworks. And I was little. I mean, I was so little I couldn't read. So I thought they were fireworks. So I get the box and I bring it into the house, and my grandfather, he goes, put that down real easy. And I said, why? They're fireworks. He goes, no, that's sweat and dynamite.
Yeah.
You're going to blow us all
those are full
up.
red sticks. Yeah.
He said, you're going to blow us all up.
My father and some uncles had some of that old style dynamite that would sweat. They were blowing up stumps with it at one point, and you know, we got about, I don't know, probably about 200 or 300 feet away, and it was raining chunks of tree and ground and parts of snakes, and it was just raining it down.
Yeah, that's the way you get rid of rattlesnake pits, is you blow them up and hope and pray you can run fast enough to get out of the way.
Now, I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know much about it, but I think that older dynamite was more potent. It had more of a bang to it.
Yeah. Well, the way my grandfather explained it, he said if you wanted it to be really, really potent, you got to pack that shit good.
Yes.
And put it to where it's cool but not too cold, because the heat and the cold alternating will make it swell up and sweat.
Yes.
He said if it sweats, you blow yourself up with it.
I knew a man that was in Vietnam, and he was a sort of a demolition expert. He said, I'm not sure why. I'm not clear on why. I guess you'd have to be in the know for it. But he said he rigged all their grenades where you didn't just pull the pin and throw, but you pulled the pin, put it back in, and throw it.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
That's interesting. I wonder why he did that way.
That way, because that's all you have. And that way you can create that sort of chain of destruction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Without like proper, you know, a demolitionist. Like I worked a lot with EOD, and they showed me how to, you know, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. And if you fuck this up, this will fuck you up. So yeah, I learned a lot of stuff about that. But also I love the miners. I'm from Virginia, not Southwest Virginia, which is where they used to mine, but I'm a demolition knowledgeist, not expert, but yeah, I understand the whole, where minerals, rocks, how things are going to fall, what you need to do, light the fuse, everyone walk out, let's get out of here, and then things happen.
Yeah,
and it happens beautifully. It happens like fucking art. Yeah.
Saying him and his sister were playing jumping jacks, firework jumping jacks, and a fuse burnt instantly. She panicked, threw it right in the bag with the rest of them, colors flying everywhere. We had something like that happen when I was young. I hung out with a group of people older than me, and they had these firework wars. Well, okay, they would spend hundreds. I mean, like 500 in one go because they, it would go on for like 2 days. They'd throw the flash firework to light up the area, and then the smoke bomb to cover the area, and they would build firework barrel guns that launch them out of. They were hardcore with it.
Oh, little mortars. Yeah, mortars. Yeah.
But one of them, he had one fly into his supply of fireworks.
Oh shit!
And he had this vest on, and it hit him primarily. So there he was on the ground after the smoke cleared. He was crying and begging me to take his vest off. So there I was trying to take his vest off, but it was in his skin.
Ooh.
And he was pissed at me because I wouldn't take his vest off. And I'm like, I don't want to rip your skin off.
I set up a firework setup at my cousin's house, and then that motherfucker tilted over and hit his house so hard it left cracks in his sidewall.
Oh God!
And he was like, "What the fuck, man? I thought you were good at this shit." And I was like, "Dude,
hey, we have Sturgeon 510. Welcome."
Hey, Sturgeon. I was young though,
Well, remember when you, Noise, and Phoenix was we were shooting bottle rockets or something, fireworks, and the bottle fell over and it hit the porch and the whole house was filled with smoke and everybody was running and was coughing and running because we couldn't see.
I actually don't recall that one.
You remember it, don't you, Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember we was standing on the porch and the bottle rocket went off and it fell over and it went boom. And it was like, oh shit.
Oh man! So this thing was called the Redneck Riviera. The Redneck Riviera. It was a 12-round mortar box. So it was I bought it out of South Carolina, and that motherfucker was mean. And then as soon as something happened. Excuse me. Let me take this out. Something happened, and the thing like fell over and started facing the house. And then we got all the kids. All the kids like screaming and scared for their lives because it just started firing at his house. I was like, all right, that's all right. I'm not in charge of fireworks anymore.
No more of that.
So, Lilith's saying that she blew things up with fireworks as a kid. And toilets, and her brother got covered in shit.
Oh, cherry bombs.
Oh, Lord Almighty. Yeah.
Kids used to blow the school toilets up with them.
Oh man, I used to grab them packets of fireworks, like the firecrackers, you know, with the red wrapping paper, and just light that bitch, throw it, and walk away, and just watch people freak out.
Yeah.
The man I knew that was in Vietnam, he was exposed to the Agent Orange. That stuff is way more deadly than you think because it alters your DNA.
Yes, it does.
Not just him, but him and his children. Every few years from then on, had to go back to the veterinarian, not veterinarian, the vet doctor, right?
The VA
to get checked to see how it affected him. And one of his children, it did affect. He had this growth, this cyst where the hair grew in his tailbone. He had to get it operated on, and they think it came from the Agent Orange being passed down.
Yes, yes, that's what I've heard. That's unfortunate, man. Yeah.
Well, that's like
where the fuck did Phoenix go? I love how he just
I don't know where the fuck he went. He's not there.
I'm gonna go get water.
But that's like my grandfather, when he was off the coast of Hiroshima and the bomb went off.
Oh shit.
the doctors told him that he's very fortunate that all his children had been born at that time, before then, because if not, then well, wait a minute, my mother wasn't, but they would have been affected by the radiation because it changes the DNA like that.
Correct.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, alchemy confirming that it does usually cause cyst skin abnormality. Can't talk right. Abnormalities. Yeah, I wasn't exposed to it. I just fuck up words a lot.
Yeah, no,
There
that
it
shit's
is.
heavy, man. It lasts forever. Like it's not like, oh, there was a big bomb. No, dude, you have fucked the earth for a long time when you drop those. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I believe, unless I'm mistaken, again, I don't know a lot on the subject, but Agent Orange, they called it that because it was what, like an orange powder that rained down? Is that the case?
In the excuse me, let me take these out. In its original state, it's orange. When it disperses, it's white, just like white phosphorus. It just covers you, and you're fucked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when people have to pack it, deliver it, they don't have gloves on, like it gets in your skin. It's kind of like working with lead.
Oh, okay.
Once that lead gets in your body, you can't get rid of it. You're fucked. Yeah.
Or I can't recall what it's called. One stuff that people would put in envelopes and mail to people that would kill everybody around them.
Arsenic.
No, it wasn't that.
Arsenic just kills you, right?
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. I don't remember.
It would be a white powder.
Oh, that shit. Yeah, I got all my shots for that. So I had received 6 shots for the I know what's the name of it?
Anthrax.
Anthrax. Yeah. You receive 6 shots of that, and then once you're fully vaccinated, apparently
is quite
it can
knowledgeable.
affect you, but we'll see.
Every time we're blanking on something, there's El Alchemy's like, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Fucking Anthrax.
that damn shit is it's very interesting. I mean, if you get into the field of all that kind of thing, it's very interesting to study, but heaven help you if it ever gets out. Because
Sturgeon 510 says, found out they made Agent Orange at a warehouse in the city I live in. Ooh, that's a hell of a thing.
Damn.
Oh shit.
Hey man, I live in an area where they created Lyme disease. So
yeah. Oh my. Well, that's not good.
Yeah, well, in Alabama they make a lot of rockets and missiles and such.
Yeah,
I can only imagine a lot of that nuclear waste is the reason Alabama is the way it is. I mean, I don't know. That's pure wild speculation, but I'd imagine it could be true.
Well, there's a town in South Alabama that perpetually stinks because they dump all the nuclear waste there. It's a little bitty town, and there's people with cancers and all kind of stuff because of that, and they can't get the government to stop doing it. So, yeah. There will be fishy. Oh God, Liz, what are you talking? There will be fishy.
I'm telling you, we all need to move to like northwest Canada, where it's clean. All right, someone's gonna yell at me.
Well, there's a part still in America. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan is not unsimilar to Alaska. But you will have to more so live off the land, and you're going to be freezing your ass off.
That's fine. Yeah. I'll take it.
I don't know. I do a lot better in the cold than the heat.
In Michigan, and I've been there recently. I grew up there partly, but they refer to it as the UP there, the UP, which stands for the Upper Peninsula. Look that up. It's like, you know, all the rougher kind of people move there because you got to be made of some real solid shit to live off the land there.
See,
Yeah.
I'm not a Canadian at all, but I'm looking at BC, man. I'm looking at going clean and just getting away.
But
I don't know.
For those of you that don't know, that part, the upper part of Michigan, especially the upper part, and Canada, they're right there. They're connected. You know, there's just a small line between them two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they speak the same language. It's not that East Coast with all that French shit. I'm looking at the chat right now. Who's in here?
Well,
A neighborhood where the warehouse was. Okay.
I know that in the Upper Peninsula, since you're right on the edge of Canada, you could go to Canada for your medicine and go back to the United States.
Well, I like the wide open area. You know,
Mhm.
just cheap land, put your place down,
Mhm.
and build something. You know,
And also,
yeah.
if you're into it, you can grow so many of your own marijuana plants there legally and have them in your yard. They will
That's
come
what
and
I'm
make sure you don't
saying.
have
Oh
too
my
many.
God, that's my
Yeah.
medicine. Yeah.
I like I said, I've been there recently to visit a relative, and you can see right there they had plants tall as fuck. You can see right there, and they're like, "There's my plants, the ones that the cops know about."
Yeah.
Like fucking trees, right?
Yeah.
It plenty of more than enough.
Well, I know one time, noise.
No, funny story that he told me, the person that we visited. He's got this like unexplored land behind his house, you know, wild forest. He said he went out there and a beaver had chewed down a tree, but the tree trapped it. So the beaver still has teeth in the tree, and it fell down and trapped it, and it died that way.
Oh,
man.
all that hard work.
That sucks.
Oh,
That does suck.
yeah.
You know, that beaver was a shitty lumberjack.
Now we're moving into a certain area. Everyone that I'm talking to, Elijah, Phoenix, Noise. Thoughts on Bigfoot?
Bigfoot.
Poor beaver. That's what you say to your girlfriend, right?
Oh, that's wrong.
Saskatoon,
Oh my
Sasquatch.
God.
Okay,
Big
okay.
man. Yeah.
I believe in it, but there's shortcomings in that knowledge. I mean, there's parts of it I question. I've not actually seen one. I think I may have heard one once, but I've never actually seen one. But there's parts of it I got a question, like, well, if that's true, then how can this be? And you know, and so on. But ultimately, yeah, I'm open to the belief of it.
Well, when I was a kid, we lived in South Alabama, and we'd run the woods all the time. And we went up. We was at this creek, me and my cousins and stuff, and we seen one, and it wasn't a bear, it wasn't any of that. It was a Bigfoot, and it was
See?
standing on the edge of the fucking creek,
See?
and it stank. Oh my God, the smell! It was just like rotten
Hey, but
water. It was
Like
just
something
ugh.
dead. Yeah.
that could have just been a local redneck that got lost in the woods.
No,
No,
Yeah.
dude.
we know the difference.
No.
We knew the difference.
No, it doesn't smell that way. No. It smells like fucking something died.
Yeah, it's just this awful. It was, and we got scared, and we ran back to the house, and my mom said it was a skunk ape. Like, okay,
Okay,
That's what they
skunk
call it.
apes are commonly thought to be in Florida.
well, we were in.
But wait, yeah, you were in the southern part of Alabama, weren't you?
Yeah.
y'all
Which would
lived-
put you
y'all lived-
really
Yeah,
close
she was
to
way
Florida.
down there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd put you really close to Florida.
Oh,
We was in Mobile at the time because my dad was working down there, and that's where we saw it. So, and what we didn't see it for very long. It was just maybe like a few seconds, but that's what it was. I mean, it stood up. It didn't. It was kind of humped over, like a kind of like a gorilla when a gorilla would stand up a little bit, and it didn't have it had broad shoulders, but its neck was kind of short. You know, it really didn't have a neck like a person.
Again, it sounds like a local redneck.
You
Yeah,
had
well.
no, dude. I think she had a real fucking experience.
So
Holy
you know
shit.
that's kind of like, you know, but we didn't stick around to find out. You know, we took off. So
Well, yeah, I am. I'm most definitely open to. You know, I'm not about to say no. It can't be. No, it's something else. Yeah, I believe that it's entirely possible.
Oh yeah, I always try to stay open-minded myself. Anything's possible, but yeah.
But I think the Sasquatch comes from the the Icus. I can't say that fucking word. The giant apes of the
Giant Pithecus. Is
yeah.
that it?
Mm-hmm. I think it's a off breed of those that just didn't get wiped out. In the
There's
Ice
some
Age.
people out there saying it's aliens, a type of alien, a species of alien. There's a possibility that it is a rare type of ape, and when they do catch one, they misidentify it, or or the bones, or so on. Shit, I like to stay open. I'm not gonna. As many crazy things that I've seen and heard for fact, I'm not about to knock anything out as going, can't be.
Yeah,
That's like that. That's like that dog man we saw. Remember Noise? Jesus Christ. That thing was.
Well,
oh.
Okay, first of all, I don't really talk about it because no one's gonna believe it, and everybody's gonna be, "Oh, you just seen a bear. You're a fucking dumbass."
Nope. Open up about it. What is this? What is this?
Look, I live in the South, surrounded by trees for hundreds of miles. I know
That's
what
where
the
you're gonna
fuck a
find the
bear
shit.
looks like. A skinny bear, a wet bear, a sick bear. You fucking name it. I know what a bear looks like.
Mangy bear. We've seen them all. But this thing, we was coming back from somewhere or other, and it was, I can't remember if it was nighttime or what, but we was driving down the road, and we seen it on the side of the road, and it was eating a carcass. And this thing was hunched over this carcass, and it had like crazy fur. It had like Goku hair.
Its fur was kind of like Sonic the Hedgehog, or like Goku. It was like out and spiked out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It stood maybe 7 foot when it stood up straight up.
God damn.
It stood straight up. And
well,
it watched
we were going down the
by.
road, and I said slow down, and you're like, hell no.
No, hell no.
Okay.
Because I knew.
I seen it within arm's reach. I got within 3 to 4 foot of it outside of my window, so I got a damn good look at it.
Yeah, and it had a long, skinny snout, and it had ears like a dog, and its eyes was red. And this thing, it was like hatred, pure hatred.
I don't know that his eyes were red.
They look red. I mean, it could have been the eye shining.
I got a better look. I don't think it was red, but you could definitely see what, to me, it come off as pure fucking hatred in his eyes. That's what it came off to me as.
Well, to me, they looked red, but that could have been the eye shine or something.
Yeah, the eye shine. Yeah, because they could see at night. Yeah.
But it was the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it was skinny.
No, yeah, that's the thing. The thing looked starved. And I'm thinking something that fucking big, and it starved, and it came in the road, wasn't afraid of us, wasn't afraid of the car, and it was eating a carcass.
Yeah. And this thing, it was so damn big, the thing could have ripped the car in half and not had a problem doing it.
Holy shit, guys.
Like, no, I'm getting the fuck out of here. So,
I don't really tell people that story because they're like I said, they're just gonna be like, you're a dumbass, you just seen a bear, and it's like, motherfucker, you weren't
noise. That's the problem with finding out more data about these things, is because people think that they're going to be minimalized or talked down about and like, oh, that's weird. Nope. It's This shit's real, man.
Mhm.
We have Charlie Nuclear. Everybody, welcome Charlie Nuclear.
Hi, Charlie.
Hey, Char.
But
Char
yeah,
Char.
I think a lot of people see these kinds of things and they don't really want to talk about it because they're afraid of getting called crazy.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Me, myself, I don't. But I've watched so many documentaries. I've come, kind of like put everything into an idea of, okay, holy shit, this could be real. That's why I talk about it. It's because
growing up,
it's a real
growing
thing.
up surrounded by woods, and I
Yeah.
mean,
Yep.
we're in a part of the South where it's not like, when I say surrounded by woods, I mean really surrounded by woods. Like you have your driveway and your place, and then everything else is pure fucking forest.
Mhm.
But I've seen things like middle of the night you hear kapow kapow, like something knocking the fuck out of a tree. So you look, nothing. You look, nothing. You go out the next day, you look at it, and yeah, the tree's been beat. I've seen things like trees that were there, and the next day they fucking weren't.
Yeah, they were gone. I mean, completely
Wow.
gone.
Or like branches.
I'm used to bears where I am. I'm used to black bears, brown bears. Well, mostly black bears. But yeah, man. When you see those things move or stand up and walk, you're like, okay, I see what you're doing. But then what I've seen otherwise, I'm like, that's not a bear. That's a weird upright man, regardless of whatever they look like. But that's a human shape. It's not a bear. Yeah. So that's why I brought that up. I thought it was kind of cool because I'm like, dude, let's not bring up let's bring up the idea of these things. It's pretty fun and also interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. What was Phoenix gonna say? I know he's gonna say something.
Okay. And sometimes we'd see like branches 10 feet up in the air broken off, but none.
Oh
none
yeah,
lower
yeah.
broken.
We would see 10, 20 foot. I believe it was, I don't know, 10 or 15 feet, probably more like that, broken off.
Not like storm broken up, like something bent it.
Right. That's what I've
Well,
seen.
the wind
It's
can
a
do
bending.
that, but
It's not a break from snow or like a storm. It's a purposeful break. Yeah.
yeah, but when you're familiar with the woods around you and you see the same thing every day, and there's been no storms, that's weird.
Yep.
Well, what about sometimes you go out in the woods and you see like these little huts? No, well, they're not little, but they're like huts. Made.
I haven't seen those. I've seen them on documentaries, but I've seen one in real life.
I did when I was a kid, but then one day it was just gone.
Yeah, they're just gone. You don't see them anymore. But you used to all the time. Go out in the woods far enough, you'll see little huts made.
Charlie Nuclear says Sasquatch are aliens. I was just mentioning that earlier about that's what actually a good many people are saying that these days. And
Transdimensional.
I'm open.
Yeah, dimensional.
I'm open to a good many things. I mean, you might call me crazy. I don't give a fuck. I am open-minded.
Yeah.
That's not to say I believe it, but I'm open to the possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think they are masters of their land, our land, and that they move with the breeze. Like if they're watching you, they move back and forth as the breeze moves. So they're not fully camouflaged. They just know if you know a tracker or a hunter, you know the tactics. And when
it's also been
you're
said,
like, dude, this guy is a fucking master at this. Yeah.
It's also been said by some. Some will say that aliens use it as a scare tactic, and others say it's a specific kind of race of aliens or extra dimensional beings, if you will.
Because they disappear, and you know what that is? Is that them? Those big footprints. I think is them taking that leap into the tree. As soon as they push down hard and taking that leap, that's where people are like, I got a footprint. And I'm like, dude, well, that's where he leaped off and jumped into the tree. And now he's watching you. So
Yeah.
stand by.
It
Well,
definitely makes sense.
there's a lot of native lore that says there was tribes of them, and
Yes,
they
the
Yeah,
natives
they live high
called
up,
them a
high up,
tribe.
high up. Yeah,
Mhm.
They actually, there were stories that survived. A lot of tribes didn't have writing. Some just had storytellers. Some had writing, but whatever the case, stories have survived that they considered the Sasquatch, which is a Native American word. They considered them a tribe, and there were times they had to wipe out tribes of them because they were too much of a threat.
Yes.
They also spoke of giants.
Yep.
You know, the double rows of teeth, red hair, six finger.
Yep.
If you're familiar with all that mythos, that's
All
another
the tribes came
interesting
together and
rabbit hole to
smoked
go
them.
down.
Yeah.
Well, I know the Smithsonian got in a lot of trouble because they destroyed a lot of giant bones.
They hit them. Yep.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I would like to go to the Smithsonian and look at all that stuff.
Oh man, I grew up in DC, and there's nothing cool other than like dinosaur bones. Like they don't show you anything cool. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know, it's a good one is the Spy Museum. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. If I want to go to a museum, I want to go to the Dali one in Florida. Salvador
Oh,
Dali.
yeah.
Salvador Dali.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of his surrealism art.
Yeah.
He was a nut job, though. He really was.
He was. But I mean, we need good art. We need good people like that, hanging around.
Well, that brings to mind something I hate what's going on today is all things art are becoming associated with the LGBTQ, the woke.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, say, oh, I'm in the art or classical music, or, they're like, oh, you're one of those. It's like those motherfuckers are claiming everything as their own. Like, you get out of our community if you're not like us, and they're taking over every community is a problem.
Well, the thing is that's like me. I won't go to another art show. If somebody wants to buy my art, that's fine. I'll sell it to them, but they can find me on Deviant Art for it because of that reason.
I used to be on there. Right on.
Elijah is an artist. She's even had art shows with her being the main artist. We have sold art pieces, so yeah, there's that.
But
Very cool.
That's why I won't go to another art show, because the last art show we went to, my art was up and all that was in there was pictures of PPs and vaginas.
It was all sex and race based. It was all mostly vaginas and black people.
That's kind of gross. All right.
And I'm going, I am not coming to another one. I don't care if I never sell another piece of my life.
You can put your politics in art, but not identity politics. Politics is one thing, and we can disagree over politics, but identity politics is ego masturbation. It's going. They tell me I'm special, so I get in this echo chamber. It tells me I'm special, and look at me, I'm special because what I like to hump or my skin color. Fuck that. Fuck identity politics in art or otherwise.
Yeah.
Not to mention every damn art show we went to, especially the last one, all the men folks was after Phoenix and Noise, and I'm going, my God, what is going on in here? I'm leaving
Christ.
and I ain't coming back.
we have a request.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Okay, look, maybe I will for a super chat.
Oh God damn it!
Yeah.
God damn it!
We have another request. The snatch clip. We actually have two requests for the snatch clip.
I'm sorry.
He knows. I fucking hate that shit.
That is my fault. The snatch clip is my fault. I found it on TikTok and I sent it to Noise because I thought it was weird, but I didn't think it'd make a clip, So I sent it to him because I thought it was weird, and he made a clip out of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've tried my hand at art. I'm not very good at it, but I got my paintings up on my walls and everything.
And we have someone curious as to what the snatch clip is.
Alchemy, no, don't encourage it. No. Stop
Okay,
it.
for a super chat or somebody buys a membership, then I'll play it. I'll play one of the two. You get your pick when you do the super chat.
Okay, but now wait a minute. I have a request. If you play the snatch clip for people, if they donate, can you play the goth girl after? For me.
How about the one where the girl's bouncing her ass?
No, I like the goth girl better because I like the music. Yes.
Okay, I don't think these clips are that bad, but some people, it's just too much for them to handle.
Especially Daxonar, he can't handle the snatch clip at all. He leaves.
I think he's scared Roadkill off.
No, he's still there. He's just waiting to see if you're going to play it or not.
Yeah, we do not accept identifying as here.
Mm-mm. Well, yes, Alchemy. It's that bad.
I don't think
know
it
what
is.
You don't know what you're asking. It's just weird. I mean, I've seen it so much, it's just weird now. But at first, it was like, ugh. But I don't know.
Well, look, I know when I play these clips, some of these motherfuckers are on looking like this.
Absolutely,
thing is so
absolutely awful.
Yeah. I think it's so ugly. It's cute. It makes me kind of want to take care of it, and try to make it better. I can't help it.
No, take that thing out back and set it on fire.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, Alchemy, if that freaked you out, you're not ready for these other two clips.
You're not ready for the snatch clip. Alchemy.
That was a nice one.
You're not ready for it. You're not ready. You're not
Christ.
ready.
Oh, fuck.
Sturgeon knows what we're talking about.
Oh, dude. Okay, I got my cup to throw up in. Go ahead.
That's like that cat that was conjoined when the kitten that was born with two heads on each end, a head on each end of itself.
Yeah,
it was so horrible. I wanted to take care of it.
It was years ago. We had a cat having kittens, and then there was some still in the sack. So we ripped the sack open, and I know some of you fuckers might be like, that's impossible. You're telling some bullshit. But they were conjoined, two different kittens, right at the middle. They had no back parts. They were conjoined like this.
Yeah.
So we let them die because there wasn't a chance in hell they were going to live like that anyway.
Yeah.
No, we couldn't save them. I wanted to, but there wasn't anything I could do.
We got I gotta showcase this. Give me a moment.
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
What is that? Oh God. Oh.
We got 50 for Patch and Golf
You
Girl.
motherfucker. You motherfucker, Val. God damn it.
Okay.
That is from
Alchemy.
Valkyria Winter. Okay.
Thank you,
Pony Snatch
Valkyria.
Goth Girl.
God damn it.
Here we
Here we go. For
All right,
anyone
well-
that's squeamish, look away now.
Let me brace myself.
I gotta find the fucking clip.
Look at Phoenix.
I don't have a fancy thing. Just hit a button.
Phoenix is like so pumped.
He said, "Tell me more. Tell me more."
My little pony, baby pony. They're such cute ponies, everyone. My little pony, baby pony. Baby cotton candy. You is so much baby moon dancer. I love to feed you with baby firefly and put on your little diaper too. Each sold separately.
And we're not done. here's a little eye bleed.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, let's start off with a giant, beautiful middle finger to Val. Thank you so much for ruining my evening, you motherfucker.
Oh, you should give Valkyria.
Wait, I got you covered on that.
Jesus Christ, man.
This is 3D. You should give Valkyria the other clip where the girl with the girls and the boobies and the all that. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, since he was nice enough to do a $50 super chat, I'll throw in that one.
Drop 'em out, let me see them titties. Gonna take along, look at those twig old bitties. Areolas looking nice, nipples looking real pretty. Come on, let me get her at your boobs. Drop 'em out, let me see them knockers. Gonna take along, look at those big ham hockers. Just squeeze them together while I play with my cocker. Come on, let me get her at your boobs.
All right, very well. I'll accept.
Yeah. I just thought it would be nice to throw that one in too, you know. I think the first girl in that clip's my favorite.
So I'll be like,
too,
yeah, that
Allie.
was pretty
Me
gross.
too.
But I've seen a
never seen a girl
modern
just pick
predator.
that shit up and just do it like that.
It says, well, I've seen a modern predator that looks like a mangled vagina with teeth.
Good Lord. I need some medical assistance then. I mean, if it's like that, Jesus Christ. Plastic surgery can only do so much, you know.
Right?
They got to have something to work with in the first place. I got to find some more of those weird clips.
Yeah, you know, I need to change my clips up now and then, but the two that really gross people out has got to be a keeper, you know. It's like that stream where I threatened to play it unless somebody paid me, and it worked.
Can we get a five? The auction.
There's some people that come here to see that shit, and you know that's all right with me.
Yeah,
I
people
like
willing
the
to pay
others
high dollar
better,
for it.
though. I like the other ones better. But I do need to find some more weird stuff. I wonder if I could do some weird stuff.
Do we really though?
Yeah.
It's like
I could
watching
do it.
it's like when I first saw my first Tool video when I was like 12, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, the one that they did, I think they did stop motion.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, there was one called Stink Fist, which was
Yes,
about.
that's what I'm
You
talking
know
about.
what that's about, don't you?
I can guess.
I
Kids getting messed
did
with.
know, but I had
Kids
my
get
ideas
messed
and
with
then
essentially.
I learned. Go ahead.
Child
Sorry.
diddling.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Child diddling. Kids get messed with.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I didn't
I
know
think
that.
a lot of musicians like that did have that happen to them, and that's why their music was.
You know what I
look,
heard through music learning and music
Um,
production, and then learning from artists was some of the best artists that we know of have had trauma.
Hey, look, Fuda stuff is off limits here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck that food of shit. You fucking
That's off
Val.
limits here.
You take that shit and you fucking put it in your fucking goddamn pocket, you weird fuck.
I bet he's already got it there.
I do not want to see it.
No, you don't.
I've had it explained to me what it was. I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No, that shit's fucking awful. I just learned about it like 2-3 weeks ago, and it's fucking awful.
Oh. No. Mm-mm. Nope.
It's furry. It's pretty furry girls with big dicks. There you go.
Valkyria, what is wrong with you?
Wait, look.
Dude, he's fucking out of control, man. He's fucking. That's his thing, man.
I had said, I think it was last week sometime, I said that I get enough in donations, super chats, and so on, that I'll put on another night show. So that's likely what I'll do.
What
Because
night though?
the quota has been met.
What night?
Tomorrow I'm gonna send you a big banger, man. I can't break through. Like YouTube is telling me I can't send you anything, but tomorrow it'll be random. So I know you don't stream tomorrow, but I'm just gonna send it. Yeah.
I wonder why YouTube's doing that.
I don't know. YouTube and Rumble are like, no, you can't do that. And I'm like,
Well,
dude,
that's weird.
why? Yeah.
Okay,
No.
chat. Pick a night between like obviously tomorrow night, and I already do one Thursday night. So between tomorrow and Friday.
For me,
to do extra
Wednesday.
show.
Yeah.
Wednesday. Big Shirley. Oh, she heard Big Shirley. Big Shirley, shut up.
Where's Dan? Where's Dan to make Big Shirley scream? I feel like every time Dan's on the stream, Big Shirley's like, "The fuck is that? Fuck that guy."
She does. It's every time he's on stream, she hears him and she goes insane. She goes looking for him and everything else. And, what is that asshole at?
Exactly. Yeah.
Her name's Nanette, but I call her Big Shirley because she acts like a Big Shirley. She's a bully. She really is. She bullies everybody. She'll get a hold of Phoenix's hair and pull it. She won't let go. And for a pug, she's not fat. She's just big. She weighs nearly 30 pounds. So
okay, I guess I'll just say here now. I'll put on another show Wednesday.
Yeah.
So all you out there watching, watch for me Wednesday, same time.
Wednesday
Yep.
works for me.
there will be snatch. I'm doing Lilith now. There will be snatch. I can't do an Austrian accent.
There
I'm
will
sorry.
be snatch.
Look, if you're on here promoting pussy, here you go.
The young girls who want to make life with pussy, your pussy will perish with you in hell. May your pussy perish with you. May your smooth pussy, creamy pussy, and tight pussy perish.
That man's got issues. Good Lord. He must have
It's
got
so funny.
turned down or something. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on with him.
Yeah, he never had a girlfriend before.
Something wrong with him. I'd have got up and walked.
Well,
I
you've
wasn't
heard
in the first
you've
place.
heard the term incel, like voluntary and celibate. I don't, whatever. You know what it means, right? Basically, the young boys and men can't get none, therefore they start hating women and refusing women, supposedly.
Yep.
I'd imagine this is a scenario like that.
That's what I think. Is he never had a girlfriend.
Well, yelling like that at people, no damn wonder. I mean, my God, he needs to take some NyQuil and calm the fuck down or something. I don't know.
No shit.
Maybe he's using the mentality of when a man, wants to get with a woman, so he pretends to be gay and be like, I'm having straight thoughts. You need to help me out with that. Maybe he's using that kind of reverse psychology.
It ain't working because, dear Lord,
That's a lot of turn downs. Yeah, that's a lot of turn
term.
downs to get you to that point.
Involuntary celibate. Yeah, that's the term.
I bet every damn woman in that church got up and walked.
Okay,
right? Yeah, fuck this
when
guy.
when I first heard incels, my go-to thought was they're just they're trying to shame people again. They're trying to shame people, and there's a lot of truth to that. That's largely the truth, but I do believe there are some incels out there. But largely it's just a shaming technique.
Yeah. But what's funny is there's a lot of women out there that think they're the shit, and they don't know how to react to somebody that just don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah.
They just don't know how to react to it. That it pisses them off, and they try that much harder.
Yeah,
because they stay on their fucking Instagrams all day, and it makes them feel like they're being hit on rather than like cordially invited to, some sort of engagement. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I had my pick of women. I mean, I had absolutely no shortage. That's not true these days, but once upon a time it was. And sometimes I just, the bitch would be coming on me and I just didn't give a fuck. I was like, no, this bitch is after anything and everybody, and I'm going to ignore her. You know what that would do? They would get desperate and they would come at you with everything then.
Yes. Yeah.
That's like this one bitch. Oh my God. We was at a bar and she comes up to Noise, and it was Halloween, and she had this little skimpy outfit on, and she comes up to him, buy me a drink. I said, shit, bitch, he won't even buy me a drink.
I remember that. Here's what happened. I walked her over to somebody that I knew, and I said, he'll buy you a drink.
Mm-hmm. That's what happened. And she didn't know what to do with herself. I was laughing. I thought it was funny.
He absolutely has a point here. El Alchemy. Most women don't realize that incel applies to them too. Yeah, absolutely.
But we've all seen them. Bitches are crazy. They are,
dude. I mean, come on, we're all crazy, but it's about dude. There's so many people against what the other side is doing. It creates this like mindset, and it's like, dude, really? Like, why can't we get back to just hanging out at the bar, having a drink? If you like me, cool. If you don't, fuck off. But really.
And what Lilith says here is true as well. Most best creative people are the most traumatized and fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I already mentioned that. Yeah. The creatives do have some trauma. Yeah.
I gotta go check on the puppies. I think Small and Feisty's beating up her sister again.
Go ahead, girl.
Every time she leaves, it gets real quiet.
We can't say anything.
Okay, is what I do. I'm gonna bring up an article to read out here.
Huh?
Nintendo denies using AI images in Mario Kart World. So the gameplay video in general was fine, but some observers noted that some images in the background were made by AI. Although this was made purely based on observing the images in the video, the dubious images are these. It does look kind of like AI to me.
Yeah.
They are denying that they put any AI into this game. I suppose they include these images. So yeah, Nintendo has been clear in denying that AI generated images were not used in the development of Mario Kart World. And the article goes on to say the game is probably not 100% completed at this point, so it is impossible that we're just seeing the placeholder images. But still, they've demoed it, and they are denying any AI usage.
It's
I'm
weird.
looking at the pictures. Are there more pictures than this, or?
No, these are all.
Okay.
I don't say for sure thing it's AI, but it is very simple posters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you look at the bridge, and especially that funky car there, to me it looks AI, but it's not entirely possible that that it's not AI. So Charlie Nuclear comments, so AI placeholder art. So, the chat can make up their own mind if they think this is AI or not. But the fact that they are denying it, even though the game's been demoed and seen, and some people have played it in their demos, and they're denying it. If I had to say, I would say it's AI art in it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. They're standing back and watching people react.
But I mean, I'm kind of strange with the AI art. If you're using it as a tool to kind of flesh out your own creation, that's one thing. But if you're using it for the whole thing, that's no good, because I consider it kind of cheap.
Well, they have already began making movies with AI, but if they're doing it to speed up production, but they're not making the entire thing AI, I could be all right with it. But entirely AI things, I think that sets a dangerous precedence.
Yes,
Mhm.
it does.
Well, the one good thing that I will say about AI is it could take actors and actresses that have died, like the golden era of Hollywood, and put them in a modern movie, and that would be okay, I think, because the people are gone, and as long as it was tasteful.
Oh,
But
with that, you could always just get like a lookalike to do it.
I would also add that, they should take what they would have paid an actor and send it to that deceased actor's family or estate.
Yeah. Like they could take like Betty Davis and all
So
them.
I
and
take it that Charlie Nuclear is on his way out. It's still gonna take 100 years for that radiation to leave.
I'm still waiting on it to go. It's still here.
Well, 100 years in YouTube time is like 10 hours, right?
True. True. Some people are genetic trash.
Yep.
Hey, Warren, we need to get a clip with regal horns and stuff.
We need a regal entrance sound.
Mm-hmm. For Warren, because he just
Welcome, Warren of Bly.
Because it just reminds me of like this epic knight or dragon or
I really should look into the story in which that name comes from. Just from the name alone, it seems like it could be interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. I like stories like that. No one wants fucks. What the Lilith? What are you talking about? No one wants fuck.
Okay, well, technically, a lot of people want fuck.
It's not. Yep. All right. Leave Lilith alone. All of us just let it ride.
Okay. Yeah, that might be a good idea. But yeah. Okay. If anybody hears stuff squeaking from
Puppies.
me, it's not me. It's the puppies. They've gone completely insane.
Hey, Phoenix, you haven't said much. Speak up.
Yeah. I'm getting a little tired, but I'll stay a little longer.
No, but speak up.
Yeah.
But the puppies, they're bored in their quarantine. And everybody knows what happens when you get bored dogs that has to stay in quarantine for very long.
Oh yeah.
Those damn puppies have tore they started eating the wall in there.
Exactly.
So I had to put a board up, and these are tiny puppies too. They're not big. They're tiny.
Excuse me, sir. Did you just eat drywall? Yeah.
Yeah, they did. And they'll do it again too. That's why I've got a big ass board in there so they can't tear any more up.
My parents say that when I was a baby, they lived in this place that had lead paint. And they put my crib against the wall, and then they say they came back and I'd ate all the lead paint off the wall.
Damn, son.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Jesus.
We
Here we
come
are.
from an era where we're loaded down with lead, right? We're loaded down with heavy metals and heavy metal. But fuck, when I look at the other generations, I'm like, did it improve us?
Well, I will say this. Our generation can do things that the younger people can only dream of. We have forgotten more than they will ever know.
Correct.
And that's just the truth.
Yep.
Too many puppies.
Okay,
finest
well,
song.
let's speculate for a moment. Let's say that the younger generations are advancing, as some of them like to say that they're more advanced than us. Okay, let's say that they are, and then we just don't get it.
We got to guide them. We got to guide them.
Well, the problem is we're still on Earth, we're still animals, and we need to maintain that part of ourselves. So if you advance, you can advance in different directions. If you advance in the wrong direction, it could be a detriment.
Well, I know a lot of teachers now, they say that kids can't even write and read. They don't know how they're going to function in society because they can't write, and they're
Yeah.
passing them that way. They have to.
I have something bookmarked on that, but I'll probably get to it on one of my later shows.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people can't read these days.
Well, and it's bad because those are the people that's going to be the doctors and the teachers and all that stuff. And we're going to be sitting in the
Yeah.
old folks' home listening to heavy metal,
That-
playing video games.
That's like that video I played on here once of the all black doctors and nurses that were dancing around with the organ that they cut out of somebody to rap music, and they did the whole operation to rap music.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they did.
And then
I
they put that shit up
got
online.
all 4 of my molars pulled out to rap music. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And Marine Corps boot camp. And it was that song Crazy. Yeah. And just a little shot of numbing, but the whole time I remember the doctor having to like put his knee on me and pull the fucking tooth out. But
Oh.
all four tooth, all 4 molars pulled out.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
I had a dentist get
Yeah.
mad at me. I've got really long roots, like they're like that. They're like really long roots.
Yeah,
And I
me
had a
too.
dentist get mad at me. He started yelling at me, telling me, "Relax your gums. You're
Yeah.
making this harder. Relax your gums." I'm like, how the
Yeah.
fuck do you relax your gums?
It was fucking awful, man. I feel you. Yeah.
Yeah, what my dentist had to do is he broke my tooth apart with a drill to get it out because he couldn't just pull it out apparently.
Ugh. Oh, the
Earl
drill.
Alchemy
The
says,
drill, man.
these latest generations can't even do the practical shit that we've done since we were kids, and that's true. That is so true.
Well, it's bad when the National Archives is wanting volunteers who can read cursive.
Right.
Because nobody can read cursive anymore.
I remember
Oh,
that
man.
crazy, that Aerosmith song "Crazy." I think it was the early '90s or maybe mid '90s. It was something like that. I remember they played the fuck out of that song.
It was Charles Barkley. So a southern rapper that did that song Crazy. I think I'm crazy. That was a song that, yeah, I was like, oh my fucking
Yeah.
God.
I'm not really familiar with all that kind of music myself.
Yeah. I think the Aerosmith crazy one he's talking about is a different one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Totally different. Yeah.
But if I go in the dentist office and they're playing rap music, I'll walk right the fuck back out and get me some pliers and do the shit myself.
Oh, I couldn't do it. I was on base and I was in
Oh.
basic training and they were like, this is where you go. And so he just had the radio on and I was like, all right, this is the song. But man, oh dude, I'll never forget that. And he also ripped like, okay guys, stand by. He ripped like a part of the top of the roof of my mouth out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So
You know,
the
your
top of my mouth,
sinuses can
the
get
top
pulled
of my
out with
mouth
your
was like
tooth.
ripped out. It
Yeah.
wasn't a tooth. He just was sloppy with it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It was rough. And then also I had to eat mashed potatoes and spinach for 2 weeks. Take one Vicodin, and then every time I had to take a Vicodin, I got yelled at because I was a bitch. So I was like, all right, well, here we are. That's the Marine Corps.
when I take Vicodin, I start acting like a Viking.
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway,
it helped me. It helped me go to sleep because my mouth was pounding, like in so much pain. And then they'd make me scream. Like every time they asked me a question, they were like, scream louder, scream louder, scream
Oh
louder.
God.
Yeah. And in my dude, my teeth, my gums were bleeding. Yeah.
Mm.
Dude, it was yeah, it was this was not normal Marine Corps warfare. This was
Uh-uh.
I was a part of a battalion that was very we were machines. We were not Marines, we were machines. And yeah, I found out later. It sucked.
Yeah.
I'd went to the dentist once, and there was this big titted nurse that was flirting with me the whole time. But you know, when they had the dentist be working on you, and then the nurse would be standing over you too, and I was about smothered by tits.
Yeah, this woman was
That's awesome.
huge.
Hell yeah.
I mean, she was in love with him or something. I was in there too. I was sitting in a chair in a corner. And she took every opportunity to put her boobs in his face.
I have
And
never experienced.
he was
That's
like,
so
oh
cool.
shit. It was like, oh shit, I'm gonna be smothered by boobs. It's like, yeah, you are. Enjoy it, man.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Hey, it
God.
happens.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we have Sturgeon 510 saying Marines is no joke, and I would imagine it is not.
Yeah.
No, man, especially when you got all four of your teeth pulled and they're like, scream, motherfucker. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
You're surrounded by people like you're gonna find in the military, right? Yeah, they're gonna take every chance they can to make you act like a big pussy and give you hell for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough, man.
Well, I know my grandfather, he was in the Air Force, but he said hazing was a real thing.
Yes.
He said they'd take socks or pillowcases and stuff like that and fill them up with soap and beat
Oh,
the fuck
dude,
out
we
of somebody.
fucked a guy up one night. I wasn't a part of it, but I was on fire watch, which means I was on duty to make sure if anyone was walking around, I had to let them know someone's coming. But yeah, they would yeah, they'd fuck these guys up.
I know.
So what you see in those films and like the Stanley Kubrick, Full Metal Jacket,
Mhm.
that's still a thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like a hazing thing. Dude, if you suck, you're gonna get fucked up.
Well, I know my grandfather when he was in the military, there was he he said there was this one asshole in the company that shared the barracks with and stuff. He said there was one asshole that would not go to sleep, would not
Oh.
do it, wouldn't do it, wouldn't let anybody else go to sleep either. He'd sit up
Oh.
all night and he said he must have been out of his fucking mind or something because he would sit up all night and sing and whistle and fake snore and all this bullshit. Well, you know
Yep.
yourself when you're in that environment and they tell you lights out, it's like a couple of hours at best, and you
That's
got to
it.
get to
You get
sleep.
six. You get
Mhm.
six. That's it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if you
So,
want to fucking fuck around and cry, that's the
mhm.
first time I've heard a 25-year-old male. He was younger than I was. Yeah, he was younger than me. Cry. I was like, dude, who the fuck's crying? And some people just they can't handle it, man. Yeah.
And he said that the one night they all got sick of it, and they beat the crap out of that man. I
Yeah.
mean, like he couldn't get up and walk the next day.
Yeah.
Because they
That's what
had to get
happens.
some damn sleep. I
Yeah.
mean,
I had an uncle who was stationed in France, and they had gotten him on charges of murder, and this was so long ago they still had a firing squad. They had him lined up ready for the firing squad when somebody turned themselves in, the one who had actually done it. So at the very last moment, he got out of it.
Oof.
that was that. I imagine he was very scared.
I can't imagine
Although
that.
I'm sure he didn't show it, but I'm sure he was.
That'd make your palms sweat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You look like YouTube's gonna ban us. There's his knees.
Got cover him.
Oh my
Knees.
goodness. We got knees.
Yeah, I just got to move my legs around. They're falling asleep over here.
Stand up and stretch.
He'll disappear in a minute. He'll go somewhere. He always does. Phoenix, where's Bridget?
Asleep.
Okay. Just so she's not getting out.
She's awake now.
Oh shit, we got this boy live. Great. I'm not gonna say anything, but
There it is.
There it is.
Yep. It is what it is.
but no, yeah, the whole military experience is fucking awful. Air Force, Marine Corps, Army,
Mhm.
if you're a fucking weirdo, Space Force, that sort of thing. But there's always this sort of vetting process that really fucks with you. But yeah, when I joined and they were like, okay, you have to have your teeth pulled, right? And I was like, oh, okay. And then they pull them, and oh man, I'll never forget that.
Mm-mm.
And then as soon as I hit Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, they were like, okay, where are you going? And I told my company, battalion, and they're like, oh shit, bitch, you're going to war for a year, motherfucker. And I was like,
Oh.
what? Yeah, it was a year-long fucking campaign. And I was like,
Well,
oh, fuck.
I know they tell you when they recruit you, they give you all kind of bullshit stories.
Yeah.
They'll tell you you'll go to
Dude,
Hawaii
my
and all
recruiter
this
would come
shit.
over and play Xbox with me. He was good. He was a good fucking devil. And I still to this day text him and I'm like, you motherfucker. He was like, hey man, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I get you. But
I
he didn't
know.
sugarcoat it. He was like, dude, it's gonna be tough. You're gonna hate it. I was like, all right.
I went home when I was in ROTC and I told my grandfather all the stories they said, and he said, don't you dare believe a damn thing them people are telling you because they're
No,
trying to
do
fill your
not.
head full of shit.
Do not. They sell cake. That's all they do. They
Mhm.
look pretty and sell cake. And I'm like, oh motherfucker. But I knew what I wanted. I wanted to help out. So that's why I joined. Air Force wouldn't take me. So I went, I was like, I looked at Army and Navy and I was like, no, fuck those guys. And went Marine Corps. Yeah.
But yeah, I could have joined because they wanted me to be either communications because I could read the map, or a tank
There you go.
mechanic because I knew what a damn spark plug was.
There you go.
So I said, no, I ain't doing none of it.
Hey man, land nav is not easy. When I passed land nav and they were like, you did a great job. And I was like, really? I was like, dude, I've never read a map. I know maps, but I haven't really followed through with it. But
Yeah.
But yeah, land nav is tough because they give you a map, they drop you in the woods, and they're like, find your points, and whoever gets their points first and gets back to base, wins.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was pretty cool. I did a good job.
I wasn't in the military, but I did do some survival training, which included mapping, real mapping as you're in the environment, and you don't
Right.
have an actual map to go by. Did you know the how to tie somebody to a tree without rope? You can just use their body and tie them to a tree.
See, yeah, exactly, dude. My one of my drill instructors was a tracker. A tracker is very rare in the military. They know how to show you where people have gone, animal prints, what's going on, and other units didn't have that. We had a tracker,
What I
and
excelled
the
at
tracker
was
showed us a lot of cool shit.
I excelled at being silent. I could sneak
Nice.
up to anyone. I could sneak past a whole group of people. They'd never see me, never hear me.
Hell yeah. That's what my tracker did. He would dude, he snuck up behind someone's fucking rack. He was like slithering underneath the racks and then would just pop up and be like, "Bitch, what the fuck are you doing?" And because they were fucking around, they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. They were like bullshitting. But I was like, dude, this motherfucker's out of control. Like insane. Yeah.
So yeah, I beat everybody at being silent, and they were like, look at me going, "What kind of shoes you got on?" They couldn't fucking believe it. They were just blown away, and I'm like, my shoes are $5 shoes. Is about 10 years old.
Well, you can even do that wearing those steel toes that you wear, those boots.
No, you got to be yeah, you got to know what you're doing, man. This guy he was probably a bow hunter. That's the type of person he is. Yeah.
Well, you know, if you're hunting with a bow, you got to be real quiet because you can't shoot them from distance. You know, you got to be a certain distance. So,
But I'll tell you one exercise we all failed in, and this was something they claimed that they used to practice in ninjutsu, in ancient ninjutsu, that the ninjas would learn, right? That is walking on, I think it was rye paper without breaking it.
rice paper, yeah.
Yeah, without breaking it, which is virtually impossible. But they claim that people used to be able to do that.
Wow.
I don't see how.
Right.
Because, I mean, the weight alone, you know.
You got to be fast.
Mm.
Fast, light, know where your foot is going. Yeah. That's why when I walk through the woods, I walk in different patterns. I don't want. It's weird, but it ever since boot camp, I'm like attracted to the fact of I know how people can track you.
Well,
So
people think I'm weird
just
for
kind
it,
of make
but
a different track.
I always walk in my same tracks, and when possible, I step in places that won't leave a trail. And it's like I do this instinctively. I don't think about it and do it on purpose. I do it instinctively, and people think I'm nuts for it. But I guess I've had a good many years of training in this stuff.
Yeah,
I've seen you do that. You walk like a cat does.
Right.
Cattle put their feet in their
There you
back,
go.
the same tracks. So, yeah. But anyway.
Okay, well, I'm going to cover another article.
Okay.
Okay, Superman is broke. Superman is broke in James Gunn's DC universe. More virtue signaling at play. First, with a plot centered on fake news and online trolls, and now the fans debating whether the Man of Steel is broke, not to mention making fun of the Snyder Cut, which is, the previous Superman movies. Is this still telling is this still telling about a Superman story, or about pushing an agenda-driven message and virtue signaling, as James Gunn did with Creature Commandos? There's been people come forward to say that people like us are going to hate this movie because it's full of virtue signaling. The Kent farmhouse, pictured there, looks very different in Gunn's Superman movie compared to the past versions. Traditionally, the Kent home is shown as a 2-story colonial with a porch, a white picket fence, and a feel of a classic Midwestern farm. So, is this still Superman or political messaging? One user joked, "Oh no, Clark is going to be wearing a well-worn red MAGA hat." A reminder that Gunn's attempt at grounding Superman in a more real America may not be read as neutral. And yeah, in reality, if he's middle of farm area, he would be wearing a MAGA hat.
Yeah.
And someone else says, as someone who lived with his teen mom and grandparents from the age of 5, they lived in a double wide that his grandfather built himself on farmland. This couldn't mean more to me. So in this movie, in his version of the movie, he lives in a converted double wide. Here's the thing: in the South, there's people who's relatively wealthy that live in trailers. A lot of people take trailer as dirt poor, broke. That's not the truth. You're just used to living in a city.
Yeah. Well, here, I mean, in the South, mobile homes are more economical. They're cooler.
Which this statement points out. See, I appreciate this. I lived in a double wide on a cattle farm in rural Alabama until I was 10. We weren't rich and we weren't poor. We were solidly middle class for the area. So many people associate trailers with dirt poor, which is absolutely not true. It's you come out to the country, the mass majority of people live in trailers, and some of them have quite a bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, trailers, they're all you got to do is set them up. You don't have to build anything on them unless you want to.
Now, on one hand,
my
I
cousin
can
was always made
appreciate.
fun of for that shit, and I'm like, dude, it's pretty smart. If you do
On one
that.
hand, I can appreciate them trying to represent the poor because the poor are the most unrepresented people ever. On the other hand, they're kind of mocking people that live in trailers as poor when it's absolutely not the truth.
Yeah, true. They always get that shit wrong, They always want to make poor people out to be trash and if you live in a trailer, you're trash and all that stuff. And it's just simply
But
not the truth.
it seems every bit of this movie is aimed at somebody. It's like, he's taking shots at this bunch or that bunch, or he's virtue signaling to this bunch or that bunch, or, putting down this bunch or that bunch. Why can't it just be a feel-good movie? Why, why not?
Well, I think the more they try to do this, the further away that people are going to run from the franchise, which is sad because, the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, the first one was epic. And these are probably not going to have the same feel.
This is coming from people who were alive when the first 70s Superman movie came out. Yeah, it wasn't like when movies come out today. Oh, just another movie. I'm looking forward to it or I'm not. It was like it really had an epic feel to it.
Yeah.
It was iconic.
Yeah, when you saw the blue and the earth and especially
like larger than life.
Yeah.
So to speak. Not to mention his goofy Gen Z hairstyle there.
I just don't think this person fits the Superman role very well. I think they could have done better to get a Superman.
I mean, in some ways he does, but ultimately it doesn't play off well enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, it's just weird. I don't know. It just doesn't fit,
Yeah.
Thank you, Lilith.
I know I'd like to see more movies like the older fantasy movies like the Never Ending Story or the Last Unicorn, stuff like that.
Yeah, without the virtue signaling, not to mention the writing and, in particular, the writing is not as good as it used to be.
Mm-mm. I think they're getting AI to write it all.
Oh, Eric's gonna hate this shit. Stand by.
I mean, I think AI is writing all the movie scripts now because it's all the same thing. It doesn't matter what movie it is; it's all the same story.
A lot of this virtue signaling turns into insults, kind of like when we're making this movie for black people and for gay people and now for poor people, when it's like, whoa, you don't even know what you're saying. You're stereotyping and you're insulting people.
Yeah. They're in. I mean, they don't know how to make good stories anymore. I remember when movies was, you had your pick of genre, but the stories were good. And now they don't even care if the story is good or not. They just throw it out there for the sake of getting money. The art has gone from it. And that's just the truth.
It's every movie is now just a thinly veiled propaganda machine.
Yeah. I mean,
A virtue signaling machine.
yeah. And people are getting tired of it, and they wonder why the movies are such big flops now.
It's all the self inserts. It's identity politics and ego. If you want to make good products that's going to be classic, timeless, and loved, that sell well, take yourself out of the equation, or at least your ego, your identity politics. Take that out entirely.
Yeah, I think so too. But they won't do it because they won't listen to reason.
Because they hate everyone.
Yeah, reason
Here's the
has
thing.
went out the window.
I honestly think Weird of Light here has a point. I do think they hate everyone. It's kind of like the rich hang out with the rich, right? And they only hang out with the rich, and everybody else they see as one way or another beneath them. I believe these Hollywood types are the exact same way. And probably even in their own circles, they envy and despise one another. That's the problem, is too much hatred to go around. I mean, of course, the identity politics, but it's too much hatred circling.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's going to happen, I think, is it's going to keep going until they start to eat their own, basically, and nobody's going to pay them any attention anymore, and they're going to wonder why, and they only have themselves to blame. Now, whether they learn anything from it or not, I don't know, but
you also have the people that have to consume the latest whatever. They have to have the Nintendo Switch 2. They have to see the latest Superman. They must. It's, some people would call that fear of missing out. A lot of times it's referred to as FOMO. It's consumerism. Whatever the case, it's painting us all into a corner that we don't need to be in.
Lilith asked a question.
You have a trailer and they're certain width. I'm not sure, maybe 16 foot wide, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
A double wide is just like you double the width, and they transport it in two different parts and they put it together.
Yeah.
Like half of it here, then it's put it together.
Yeah.
Now I noticed that this article kept saying a converted double wide. Converted, I mean, you can build onto one, sure, but convert it, it's already a home, How do you convert it?
I don't understand that.
I'm guessing it's being like built onto like a porch or something.
Yeah, I don't see that as converting.
No.
I mean, exactly, it's already a home. What are you converting it into?
Unless they created it, they made it, built onto it to make it into a house. I mean, like
okay, you get it there, you put it together, you take the axles off, it's a home.
Yeah.
I'm failing to see what you convert it into.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
You can build on rooms. You can build on rooms. You can do that. But I suppose that's what they mean, is like where you cut out the wall and you add another room and another room. I suppose that's what they mean. I just, I don't see that as converting. I see that as adding. It's an addition.
Yeah.
Because it's already a home.
I don't know if they have trailers and stuff like that like we're used to in Austria. I wouldn't think so. That cat is so weird.
You just want to
It's
say hi.
on the wall.
No, he's looking to the kitchen. He's not touching the walls.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't know if they have trailers there in Austria or not.
Hey, When I say 16 foot, what would that be? About 5 meters or around that, close to that?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta actually get to sleep. I got work in the morning.
Well,
Yeah.
good night, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being here. We'll probably have another one Wednesday and then Thursday.
Night, brother.
Good night.
Bye, Bridget.
Yeah, the little Kiki.
Good night, everybody.
Cats. Alchemy said cats can see things that we can't.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. Shut up, Nanette. Big Shirley. She's about to get started.
Hey, Sturgeon said L Alchemy just subscribed to the channel.
Oh.
Which that's good, but I'm just thinking how's he know?
That is a good question. Unless he told him or something.
Okay, whatever the case, welcome. You're all welcome here. The whole time I've done these streams, I've only had like one asshole I had to absolutely get rid of. Only once.
It was a concern troll.
Yeah, it kept going to me. You're so wasted, aren't you? It's like, no. You know, I'm like, no, I may look like it. I may even sound like it, but I'm not. He's like, you know, I had a vape in my hand. He's like, what's that in your hand? I'm like, tobacco, you know? I don't even really do weed. Weed never really worked on me. Maybe I'm allergic to it. I don't know. It worked funny. But, you know, I kept saying it, and I kept saying, and he was like, no, man, you're wasted. And then I was being serious, right? So I'm like, okay, fuck off. You're just trying to be an ass. Fuck, I'll get out of here.
Yeah.
Trolling. Yep.
That's how I knew we were getting more people in, because we
But
had
see-
a troll.
But see, I give people a chance. If they want to say, hey, man, you're so wasted, I'll talk to them. It's not like, oh, you're an asshole, get out. I'll talk to them and be like, okay, where are you coming from? Let me tell you my side. You know, I'll talk about it. But if they persist, then you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's like even with Alyssa Mercante. If she came on the stream, I'd talk to her as long as she was civil.
He said, he says, I subbed here a long time ago.
Okay.
But I will say for those of you out there, I have had people tell me it unsubbed them. That they were subbed to me and it unsubbed them. So double check that shit, because YouTube's a fucking little bitch.
Well, I know they're for the.
Oh, not to mention, there's Rumble. If you have a Rumble account, go to my Rumble as well. If you don't have one, make one, because it's an alternative. It's a backup. A lot of people in this sphere use it. So yeah, check that out.
Yeah.
But I know YouTube will not tell me when you're streaming. If I wasn't a part of the stream, I would never know it until like an hour after it starts.
You know, we were saying about I try to talk to somebody before I go fuck off. He says Alyssa is never civil. That's true. You get a lot of them that seem to lack the ability to ever be civil.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs of what's going on with her and the rest of them. I mean, it's none of my business. But to my understanding, she's just being horrible to them. So, you know, let them handle that shit on, you know, do what they think is best. You know, it's none of my business.
No, what's going on is she's trying to make a case for a harassment campaign by running. As soon as it dies down, they quit talking about her or something. She'll come in and poke them by saying some shit, doing some shit.
Okay.
And then everybody get all riled up and start attacking her again. So she's gathering up evidence, going, look, yeah, it's a harassment campaign. Look. While she, you know, every time it dies down, she goes and pokes the bear.
Yeah, I've seen people like that. It's the minute you start doing something else with your time, they can't stand it. They just got to have the drama. You know, they got to have it.
Yeah, I don't know what that's linked to.
Lilith, what is that a link to? We don't know. How are we going to know what it is? I'm not clicking on something and it'd be some kind of furry bullshit.
www.fuckoff.com.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not clicking on something that'd be like a futa or some shit.
Oh my
No,
God!
I
Don't
don't want
mention
to
that.
do that.
Okay.
Don't say that.
She says, this is the Germans' version at Never Ending Story. Okay. Yeah, I'm curious. As I understand it, the Germans,
The Vistro. I mean, sorry, I'm talking to the other one. But noise. We all knows what happens to the cat. That's curious, right?
the Germans they're more blunt, and a lot of their stories don't have happy endings, whereas American stories oftentimes do. So I'm betting it has to do with like that.
Speaking of which,
oh no,
the Smurfs.
Mm-hmm.
Remember
What
their
about-
hats?
What about
The Smurfs?
What about them?
It's about dead children.
Oh,
They're
that's
white.
just something that's not fact. That's just basically a theory that somebody came up with.
Yeah. It
Okay,
run
the theory
Smurfs.
is rooted in reality because there's in the area that the Smurfs were thought to be in, there's a type of mushroom that comes up that is known for growing from dead bodies. So they theorize that the Smurfs came to be from the bodies of dead children.
Yeah.
what the
And that's
fuck?
why they wear the white hats and the white.
Yeah, I think it may have been a German person to come up with this.
Yeah. But oh, there goes the Smurfs. That was my introduction to classical music. Was
I
the
never
Smurfs.
liked that show anyway. I watched a couple of episodes, but
To me, they were always kind of bland.
yeah.
But I never figured out why they just have one female Smurf. Never could figure that shit out.
Because
I don't remember all that.
We're all misogynist. I mean,
I don't remember how that hypothesis came to be. What kind of mushroom? I don't quite recall.
Yeah, it's the red mushroom with the white dots, the mascara mushroom, which you can process it to create other things with it, but it's very difficult and time consuming. And if you don't do it just right, it will kill somebody. So you got to be careful with it.
I'm just trying to keep up with the comments.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I was reading the comment. But yeah, the mascara mushroom can be grown. You can grow it and you can make medicine with it if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you can make somebody really, really, really sick.
The wrong kind of mushroom will cause immediate kidney failure and worse.
Yeah.
That's the I call them white angels.
If you are to do shrooms, I don't suggest you go out and find them. I suggest you make them yourself. That's the smart bit.
Yeah.
Well,
my friend grows them, and he grows really good ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like the red and white ones, they have to be grown. Sturgeon, they have to be grown in a slightly different substrate because the regular substrate it does something to their DNA where they can't grow right or something, and it makes them highly toxic.
Yeah.
To the point where even if you over them and you're growing them and you don't have the right substrate, the spores that release into the air can make you very sick. So you really have to know what you're doing.
Okay, so we're gonna do a show Wednesday, but earlier, before then, I'll be on reality based on Wednesday as well.
Yeah.
My earpiece keeps falling out.
Well, I guess I got into mushrooms, and then I went down the rabbit hole and started learning everything I could about them, about how they grow and how they react to the environment. And I learned that certain kinds of music produces certain kinds of outcomes when you grow the mushrooms
Gotcha.
themselves.
Different wavelengths. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Like if
you know that's true with any plant life, but mushrooms are different. They're more reactive. They've been classified as not a plant, not an animal, or basically a little bit of both.
yeah, they're
They've
a
been
little bit of
classified as such.
So you can play heavy metal music to some, and they react very well to it. Others like classical music. Others like different kinds of music. It's very interesting because the wavelength that you put them next to produces a different outcome. It's very
Well,
interesting.
I know that they communicate with each other, but I know once you do shrooms,
Yes. Yeah, they're all connected.
you
Yeah.
feel like a reaching out. When you do shrooms, you feel like everything's reaching out like tendrils to bring in. You know, it just feels that way. I'm not saying it's actually that way, but it definitely feels that way.
Well, I do believe that mushrooms can help people with Alzheimer's and stuff like that because
Yeah.
it helps with the synapses in the brain wave in the brain itself.
It's
So-
been known to regrow
I've
minor
signed up
parts of the
for
brain.
both
Yeah.
ketamine and psilocybin, so mushrooms, through the VA, and I haven't been called in yet, but to like completely obliterate trauma, PTSD,
If
sort of
anything
things. And
will,
yeah,
that will.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my state to kind of clear it. Yeah.
The
lot
only thing that I found better that works better than those two things is DMT. But
Yeah.
that's a lot to get into. But
Yeah,
in my
it is.
experience, it's the only thing works better.
Well, a lot of PTSD patients respond very well to light therapy. And I don't know if you know about this or not, but light therapy is where they take you and they put you in a container of water, and it's like you're in a bathtub, but you're completely enclosed.
Deprivation chamber, that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yes.
And what they do
Yep.
is they shine different light colors, and the light helps with the PTSD.
Yeah.
They do it for a lot of people. You know, it helps with depression and all kinds of things.
I'm trying. Yeah, I've signed up for a different, many different, trials. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This
Also,
background I have kind of reminds me what shrooms will sometimes do. You look at lights, and it's
Yeah.
kind of glowy, and
Yep.
everything's soft.
Yep.
yeah. But I know, things like that do help. Also, a lot of people with those kinds of issues. Now this isn't like psychology or anything like that, but if you take your shoes off and go outside and just put your bare feet on the ground and stand there for about 5 minutes.
That can
or so.
actually be measured.
Mhm.
When you go barefoot on the ground, it grounds you with a current, and that has been proven to help your immune system.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it'll help you.
Yep.
Yeah, all those things helps with a lot of different things.
Yep.
So, it's always good to get back to nature and stuff like that. But what doctors are realizing is that nature has powerful medicines for people with a lot of different kinds of conditions. And they're starting to try to tap into that.
Sturgeon 510, he says, I've actually experienced that. I was frying and had a realization of how plants and trees are a huge part of our world. That reminds me of, I don't remember what it was, but there was trees that looked like a forest, but it was actually one tree that were all connected under the ground.
Yeah.
That's what that reminded me of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about grass. It's like big grass, basically.
Mm-hmm. And there's a place in England, I think, and it's covered with mycelium for miles and miles and miles, and it keeps growing and it won't stop. So I'm curious to see what it would be if it kept growing like it is now, and they left it alone and didn't trim it back or anything, it would be interesting.
So yeah,
Would
look
be.
that up. I'm betting you can find information on that. You stand barefoot on the ground. It actually changes your current, and they say it's good for the immune system.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Fact. All right, there's a train coming. I'm gonna mute. Great day. The train fucking shakes the house. All right, I mean,
You must live right by a train track or
Right.
something.
I could basically just toss a tennis ball at the train track. It's annoying as shit.
Yeah.
So got a message from Furious Dan here. Shout out to you guys. I'm still hanging out with nobody and Ryan on a private server. Okay.
Hi, Dan.
You do your private things. No, I'm playing, but no. It's good to hear from you. Okay, I'm gonna bring up maybe the last article I'll cover for this show here. I'll go ahead and get that. I just want to be sure to cover the ones I have on my thumbnails.
Yeah.
Sentry creator. Okay, first of all, Sentry is in the new Thunderbolts movie. He's supposed to be Marvel's Superman, essentially. Sentry creator imagined Thunderbolts member could be for people struggling with mental health what Black Panther was for people of color. There's a bit to get into here. This scene here portrays some of his mental health issues, and you could tell they were really leaning into it. Jenkins, the creator, original take on the Sentry is not the virtuous paragon of justice he presents himself to be, but rather a former meth addict whose attempt to find a fix leads him to break into a science lab and wantonly consume the serum that would grant him the power of the Sentry, I suppose. However, already suffering from his own latent schizophrenia, agoraphobia, and general anxiety disorder, the serum latched onto his darker impulses and created the Void, an alternative personality of the Sentry who seeks to balance out his counterpart's heroism with murder and destruction. And through the years, seen Bob regularly seek therapy for his problems rather than his struggles never being mentioned ever again. They continue to be the most powerful foe, often overwhelming him and causing him to lose control of his powers, an admittedly relatable metaphor for anyone dealing with such issues. It should be noted, I'll just skim over this part, that they've retconned his story several times, but eventually changed it back. The Sentry is about two sides of ourselves, he added. The bit that's easy, the bit that's hard, and the bit that's light, and the bit that's dark. Okay, here's my take on it. It's good that they're recognizing mental illnesses, but they gave him so many. They gave him loads of mental illnesses, and like, no, he's got this and this and this and this and this, and he's the most powerful being ever. It's okay to recognize mental illness. It shouldn't be shamed, and it's okay to recognize it. But they are leaning on it so heavy, it's retarded. And now it is transitioned to a movie. He is in a movie now. The movie is flopped, but all the same, they packed him with every mental illness and a meth habit, and he became the ultimate power in the universe with all these issues and a meth addiction.
Well,
okay.
Do you remember that show we watched, Legion? That's kind of what they did with that show, but that show was well done.
Okay,
I'm not sure about this.
The show Legion, if I remember correctly, was based on Charles Xavier, from the X-Men, the man in the wheelchair, based on his son who grew up to become all powerful. And I think he was a villain in the comic, but they rewrote it heavily. It didn't really follow the comic at all, but I believe that's what it was based on. But this, his tagline, the Sentry's tagline is power of a million exploding suns. I believe that's what it was. He's supposed to be Marvel Superman, which means infinite power, more powerful than anyone. But then he's agoraphobic, OCD, meth addiction. There was more, a whole host of mental illnesses. It's okay to go, hey, we recognize mental illness, and we're gonna put in our story, but they're leaning on it so hard and gave him so many. This is virtue signaling to no end.
Well, the thing is if somebody has that many issues,
Yeah,
they couldn't
Ralphie
function
says,
in.
yeah, like you're saying, it's too much. Having just one or two can be overwhelming, especially if you try ignoring him. But he has a whole host of them. But go ahead.
But if he had all those issues, he couldn't function even with himself. He couldn't
Okay.
function.
In the comics, there are moments where he can't function. Like he's the most powerful being, and they're like, "Come help us," and he's like, "No, I'm agoraphobic. No, I can't do it. I can't do it." Okay, fair enough, but they're leaning too heavy on it. They gave him too many. He would be a mess. He would just be curled up, shitting himself. I mean, really, if he had all of those issues in one, no, he would be. You couldn't write a story about him.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You can't write. Nobody can function with that much. I mean, there's a point to where the mind breaks, and it can't be fixed. And to me, this is insulting, because
It is. It's another instance of their virtue signaling, but it's really an insult because they don't understand the source material. They don't understand the people. It's another, just like the other story where they were, virtue signaling the poor by saying, if you live in a trailer, you're dirt poor and Superman's broke. This is Marvel's version of, oh, he's so mentally ill, we gave him a dozen different mental illnesses and a meth addiction, and we gave him ultimate power. No, it's insulting.
Yeah, that's
It's
like when
stereotyping.
That's like when they try to make movies and stuff with people with disabilities. To me, that's just wrong. It's just insulting.
You can have somebody with a mental illness or disability, sure, but don't make it about that. Don't feature that and lean into it. That is insulting.
Well, one thing that I think will happen is a lot of the young people, kids and stuff, they'll see this and then they'll go around saying they have those conditions when they don't.
Okay, this character has never been that popular, but imagine if he had been. Yes, that's exactly what would happen. For that matter, we have people now going around going, I'm so OCD, and you just want to slap the shit out of them because that's going like, I've got so much cancer that I just have blah, 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 blah. They are talking out their ass. And and the more you make it commonplace, the more people's going to talk out of their ass about it. It's not going to be taken seriously. It's not going to be seen for what it is. They are making a mockery of it.
Well, that's like when all these kids in school was going around saying they had Tourette's just to get away with some shit. It's going to be the same kind of thing, and it's just wrong to try to do that. And somebody ought to go up there and say, hey, you know what? You're a dumbass. You can't do this shit. It's just insulting to a lot of people.
You should write what you know, but with that being said, you don't write for everyone. And in this case, there's no way that they could avoid writing for everyone, giving him that many mental illnesses and a meth addiction.
Something about that doesn't sit right with me. Because, I've never done meth or anything like that. But meth is a upper. They think they're gods when they're on it, and they don't sleep for 3 days or more.
I don't know. I don't know if you could consider it an upper. I don't know. To my knowledge, it makes you wired.
Yeah.
I don't know, like super coffee. I couldn't tell you. But I don't think it's quite the same as your typical upper.
Yeah. Well, my point is, if he's got that many issues and he's got a meth addiction too, wouldn't that just make his issues worse?
Oh, yes, absolutely. El Alchemy says they keep trying to glamorize these issues too. Not sure which trend disgusts me more. I agree. I so agree.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. They want to expose people to some of these issues and go, okay, here's how it really is, and it exists. It's a thing. It's but that's not what they're doing. They're giving him like a dozen things, and they're leaning into it hard, and it's becoming a gimmick, a stereotype. There's no place this can go that will end well.
Yeah. Well, that's my whole point. It's not grounded in a reality thing.
Okay. Sturgeon 510 says they make meth stronger now. It's like synthetic crack.
Oh,
I don't
God.
know, but here's my take on it is the people I've encountered, they don't know how to make it clean, and they leave a lot of pollutants in it, and those pollutants have extra effects on you. And that's my understanding. But there could be specialty, people who really know how to make it and really add something to it. There could be that going on as well.
Well, I know it's been a few years ago, but when I was driving down the road, I seen some jackass shaking it in the damn drink bottle going down the road. I was like, what
Kaboom.
the fuck? It was like, and you could tell that's what it was. So I just don't understand it. I mean, if you're going to do something like that, I thought the whole point of it was to make yourself feel better, not worse.
They feature him in the movie. Okay, in the comic, he's supposed to have the power of a million exploding suns, basically more powerful than anything. With these issues, the world would be gone. Okay, in the movie, they have him holding his hand up and people turning to dark shadows, just like an atomic blast would do. With these mental issues, no, I don't think so. The world would be gone, or he would take himself out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, my God, he could just obliterate the earth and be done with it, if the mood struck him just right. So, I mean, we've all had those kinds of days when we just wanted to see every damn thing in existence burn, but you don't, because logically speaking, you just don't do that,
Yes, one mood shift, Armageddon. Yeah.
Yeah. And
or essentially mass extinction, if somebody were that powerful.
Yeah, and the military would be all over him like white on rice. So
I don't know if it was that powerful. They would be scared. They would be looking a way to get off the earth, probably.
Yeah, you do have a point. You do have
and
a
then
good point.
and then nuking the earth and hope it takes him out as well.
Yeah. What? Oh, I didn't know.
We got some music bleed through there.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, I mean, one mood swing and he could take out the whole planet. So I don't get where they're going with this character. I really don't.
They're pandering, they're virtue signaling, and what they're really doing is stereotyping and making too light of an issue out of real hard issues.
Mm-hmm. Hey, there's Sarge.
Hey, welcome, Sergeant Giratina.
Hi, Sarge. Oh, Lord,
and the dog welcomes you as well.
It's Big Shirley. Big Shirley. Shut up, Big Shirley. She's a mess. But I don't understand. They don't know how to do anything except pander to people anymore. To hell with stories. They just said, to hell with this. We're going to write this shit and hope it sells.
It reminds me of how a group of rich people are often portrayed, where they have all this ideology, and then they feel all high and mighty and superior, but they're constantly signaling, virtue signaling, this signaling, and they don't know that they don't know the common man. They don't know the common issue. When they're actually faced with it, they definitely don't handle it the way they propose to handle it in their mind. That's the way I picture it. You got a lot of people in echo chambers, and they probably have too much money to know what to do with, and they're the ones coming up with this nonsense.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the movie that what I watched recently. It's called Death
Damn,
of the Unicorn or something.
I really need to fix my punching bag because I just had the strong impulse to punch on it.
Well, you broke it.
I was punching on it, and it fucking the straps snapped.
That's the best way, man. Yeah.
Yep, it's broke. It's like broke. But it's like that movie I watched, Death of a Unicorn. It was like that. It had a bunch of rich people in it, and they had all these ideas and shit like that. It made me want to slap.
Yeah. Well, I would normally punch the bag, but I'd hold back because it'd skin your knuckles up. But then I put on these little light gloves, have just barely any padding.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I was hitting it so fucking hard it broke.
Yeah, use the light ones, man. The big ones are like the big boxing gloves are kind of use the light ones. Yeah.
When it wasn't skinning my knuckles, I was hitting that fucker like 5 times harder, and it was just flying everywhere. And this was a big bag, right? And then it fucking broke.
Alchemy asked, was it a good movie at least? Yeah, it was pretty good.
Oh, The Death of a Unicorn. It was a fluff movie, but probably better than your average fluff movie.
Yeah. The unicorns turned into nightmares. I like that part. You'll just have to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to be. Do not.
I have not seen that.
Do not fuck with myth.
I'm going to move on and look at that. I'm going to look this up. Definitely unicorn.
It's got Wednesday in it.
Yeah, that little the young girl, actor girl. What is she?
Dakota Fanning?
No. I don't know. She played in the Netflix Wednesday show. That's all I can tell you.
Orzo?
Ortega or something like
Ortega.
that. Yeah. I can't remember her first name, though.
Jenna Ortega. There it is.
Yeah,
okay.
That's her.
Hey, okay. So is this a good movie?
It's pretty good. I mean, it's a fluff piece.
It's a fluff movie, but it's a little better than your average fluff movie.
Is it scary?
No.
Nah.
The kid, your kids could watch it.
Alchemy says, I plan to eventually, thanks. And I hope he's not referring to taking meth because, no, don't do that. There's drugs out there that you can do, but that's the most garbage drug next to crocodile or something or bath salts.
Oh, shit.
It's a garbage drug.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I've seen videos.
Dude, if you want a good drug, just fucking, I'll say this right outside. We all know it.
Mm-hmm.
Molly.
Mm-hmm.
So just stay there and be calm.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to go the route of DMT, start with shrooms.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do ketamine, be careful. Go very light on that.
Yeah, ketamine's nothing to mess around with.
No, fuck that.
Yeah.
I mean, they give that shit to horses and stuff.
A lot of people have done that, and your body goes limp, and a lot of them have drowned or other things have happened.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you always want to have somebody straight there that can watch you.
Listen, I'm pro ketamine, but no, that's not something you want to fuck with if you don't know what you're doing. You want to go really easy.
Absolutely, man. That's why I signed up at my local hospital. They were like ketamine base, labs, and they're like, sign up for the trials. I signed up and I didn't get called, but yeah, ketamine, mushrooms, those are great things when you're under proper supervision. Yeah.
They're not party drugs. These are things that help your mental health.
I've done them before. I've never done ketamine before, but I've done mushrooms and acid before, and those are things that you know, you can have a really bad time. But
Yeah, you
now
can.
that
Yeah.
now that they have these like clinics that will help you through it, I'm very interested. Yeah.
But yeah,
That's another garbage drug is heroin. No, don't do that.
No,
no.
fuck that, dude. No, no, no. Cocaine's pretty dope. I'm just gonna put that there.
No, it
I don't
can
I don't do it
eat
often.
your
I do it
nasal
like once
cavity
every like
out.
8 years or something. But yeah.
The best drugs though is your grandmother's drugs. They give old people the
All right,
good
look,
shit.
look. I've had old people drugs before, and they're powerful. But you
Yeah.
Wait a
don't
minute.
just
Wait a
go.
minute.
You
Wait a
don't
minute.
just
What
go
are old people
randomly fucking
drugs?
taking them.
What are old people drugs?
Old people drugs.
Basically, you know, you get in some old person's medicine cabinet that doctor prescribes them a bunch of stuff,
Oh,
and
okay.
then
Okay.
and you take that, and then you're all kinds of fucked up in ways you couldn't have thought possible. Yeah, I wouldn't advise it.
No,
No.
especially if they
Yeah.
say, "Okay, here I got something for you, to make you feel better," and you trust your grandparents.
I don't want to hit on anyone, and I don't care if you take it. I don't care. But there was one time I found ketamine, not ketamine, Klonopin, and my buddy was like, "Dude, just take it like a point 0.5," and I was like, "What do I do?" And nope,
No,
don't fuck with that shit because
yeah,
that's for people
I
with
don't like that.
schizophrenia. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like that stuff.
yeah, that was heavy.
But a lot of old people are jackasses. They'll tell you, "Okay, yeah, I got something for you," and
They just want to laugh at you.
yeah,
Yeah.
grandma dig in her purse and get you some
Right.
medicine, make you feel better,
I-
and they'll sit back and laugh at you.
I've mentioned that weed never did me right.
Really? I
People
know
used to
you
give
said
me
that the other
weed.
night, and I'm like, dude, really? You don't like the smoke?
People used to give me weed, and then all the stoners would stand around and laugh at me
Oh man,
because it affected me different.
dude, I eat that shit.
You get weird on weed. You get real weird real fast.
Okay, if it's strong weed, I'll puke. And the funny thing about it is weed is supposed to keep you from puking.
Right.
Not
It's
noise.
anti-nauseal. Yeah.
Not noise. He pukes every damn time if it's strong enough. I
Really?
think he's allergic to it or something.
Maybe it's the strain. Maybe if he takes too much of the like sativa, it can kind of freak you out.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, he'll literally puke and puke and puke and puke and puke like he's having a bad allergic reaction or something.
Oh man,
It's weird.
That's
I've
a
never
bummer.
seen that before, but I guess you learn something every day.
Also, I'm one of those that I get super paranoid. I mean, like crazy paranoid on it.
That's your sativa. That
Mhm.
and that is that's stress and anxiety that it induces. You need more indica that just makes you go,
But
okay, everything's
I am a
calm.
paranoid person. I don't deny that. I'm a really fucking paranoid person.
Well, shit, the
Yeah,
way
you need the indica, and you need indica in a good, safe place, and then you can really enjoy yourself. Yeah.
well the way you grew up, noise. It's no wonder you're paranoid. Jesus Christ, them people's crazy. I don't go around them people.
Version 510 says I smoked a laced roach before at a biker house. Had a out of body experience. For those who don't know, he's most likely not talking about a literal roach, but rather roaches when it gets like that. And they used to in the 70s and 80s, they'd put a clip on it with a feather.
Yep.
And everybody kept those on their visors or their mirrors.
Yep.
Because they'd clip the little roach and hold the clip and smoke it.
Yep.
I know girls used to wear those feathers in their hair all the time at school. Because I did. I wore them in my hair all the time. But anyway.
I'm more 90s, 2000s. I didn't see the feathers, but that sounds cool though.
Yeah, all the girls
Kind of
wear
like
them
a
in their hair and
like a
shit.
Fleetwood Mac. sort
Okay,
of
in the
vibe.
70s, weed culture was heavy.
Yeah, I
Oh
bet,
yeah.
man. I bet.
Have a car. The if you've ever watched the Cheech and Chong movies
Oh my
where they'd
God.
be in their car and the smoke would be all in the car, that was a real thing
Yes.
that
Fish
happened
bowling.
in the
Fish
70s.
bowling. Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Of course, it wasn't like this, synthetic, weed now, like this Delta 8, 9, 10, and, so on. It was real weed, and it affected you different. Back then, there wasn't anybody going, this isn't strong enough. Now, that's all you hear is they'll have the strong, they'll have
Dude,
100
yeah.
times stronger, and they'll go, this isn't
Yeah.
strong enough.
No, dude, back in the day, it was this Mexican brickweed that we got. Like we
Yeah,
had to literally take an ounce and throw it against the wall to get a chunk off. And it was like these flat buds that were hard
you
as
know,
hell.
my point
Nowadays,
is
it's fucking gorgeous. Yeah.
there were stoners back then who've been stoners, I don't know, 50 years or whatever. And they would be like, this is good weed or this isn't as good. But never did they go, I need it to be stronger. And all the young people now, they'll have stuff 100 times stronger than natural weed. And they're going, it's not strong enough. And I'm going, you fucked in the head. Something already fucked you up.
Well,
Yeah,
the
dude.
synthetic stuff can cause schizophrenia
Yeah.
if they do it enough.
I don't get anything less than 28%. I've had up to 38%, which is out of control. But, after you smoke for a while, it kind of just, does you in. It does the trick. But
Yeah.
but if, back in the day it was like more like 10, 16%, coming from Mexico, flattened in a brick. Now it's your local community right down the
Yeah.
road that can give you something that's outstanding for a
When you
lot
get a
cheaper.
brick, I know way back, you'd get an OZ, which was an ounce, which is what, 4/4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But
Yeah.
four quarters didn't amount for much. But a brick, on the other hand,
You'd be going to federal prison for that.
Yeah.
Hey, Sergeant Geratina, sorry if we ran you off with the drug talk. The whole show has not been drug talk.
Oh
It's
no,
been
man!
various
Yeah.
topics.
We're just talking. We're having a good time, man. We're not trying to talk about drugs. We're just talking
This
about
is just
past
the
stories.
latest topic we happen to land on.
Yeah.
Good night, Sarge. Shut up, Big Shirley. Good Lord. She bosses me too much.
Sounds like it.
She does. She's sassy.
That's my mini, my miniature schnauzer. My boxer
Yeah.
doesn't do it, but my my schnauzer is a boss. She's like 13 and tiny.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, dog.
I find that the smaller dogs are more bossy.
Bossy as shit, man.
Yeah. We made a video, or I did, where my Boston Terrier, when she wants her cookies, she'll get eyeball to eyeball. She'll stand on your chest and put one eyeball to your one eyeball, and she will not move until you give her what she wants.
That's it.
And I said, oh, this is a shakedown. I know what this is. I'm not stupid.
That's what it is. It's goddamn shakedown.
But
Okay.
I was going to say, I do need to go and feed the puppy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we need to wrap this stream up. We'll have another one Wednesday, so everybody look forward to that. And of course, Roadkill, you're welcome. Obviously, actually, I'm gonna try to do is have Roadkill and Zombie as regulars. And Dan, but he's got his work schedule that kind of gets in the way oftentimes. But I think we're gonna wrap this one up for right now. Does anybody have any final words or anything to promote?
What time Wednesday are we doing the show? Same time?
Our time, Central Time, will be 8 p.m. Eastern Time will be 9 p.m. Any other time, you have to do your own conversions.
Yeah, I can't do math.
That works. No, that works.
Okay, any words to say or anything to promote?
There will be Snatch. I can't do little voice. I'm sorry. I tried.
All right. Well, I do have one thing to promote is noise. Do not play the pony video. That's it. That's the only thing I have to promote. I will be there. I'll hang out and laugh and have an idea, but let's let's not do that.
If I get a donation requesting it, I'll play it unless I get another donation to not play it. So
I will
it'll be fair game.
I will pay you $10 to not play that.
It'll be an auction.
Okay, we only have a moment here, so if anybody wants to do a super chat requesting the pony or the snatch.
Fucking sturgeon. God damn it.
That cat's seen some things.
Oh yeah, you'll have to go to my Rumble to do a super chat because YouTube don't like me enough.
Exactly.
People don't like me enough on YouTube, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Everyone hang out on Rumble to make sure that you can be able to at least throw noise a couple bucks, you know?
Yeah, there's going to be an auction for weird clips. I'll have to see if I can find some more.
There was a food fight earlier on a different someone's channel. It was pretty funny. Not going to mention, not going to, throw that out, but it was pretty cool. It's pretty funny. So there's some ideas.
Yeah, it's funny. Dan dropping by to go, I'm in a secret chat.
Well, it's not so secret anymore if you tell everybody about it.
That's Dan, though. That's Dan.
What's the point? Everybody knows now. It's just weird.
You just made everything weird, man.
Here's my own quick promotion. So when you see people going live and you're like, who am I gonna watch? What am I gonna choose? Here you go.
Me! Choose me! Love me!
She needs to eat a cheeseburger or something. I don't know what
so
the hell.
out of control. I know. It's
Yeah,
so
okay.
funny.
Keep those donations coming because that little skinny bitch needs to eat something.
Something, I'm telling you, she needs to eat some butter beans and cornbread or something. I don't know.
Steak and potatoes. God damn.
Good God.
All right, and I'll tell everybody out there, keep bringing the noise because we sure as fuck will.
Yep. Every day, all day.
You guys rock.
Okay, and we're out.
Bye, everybody.
Check.
Your feelings can't fuck off, you non-binary bitch. Telling everyone we're wrong while you sexualize kids. Keep your pronouns in your pants, this ain't the time or place. Unless you think you can dance, I'll punch that confused face.